Yeah, I've Simple Simon. I've had that conversation. It was thrust upon me.
I can imagine your dad said it.
Yeah, my dad was on one, boy.
Simple. When we did dead, yeah. Just make sure you put me in. Don't put me in them fuckery place there. Yeah?
He said something along those lines.
He said it just like that as well.
To me, listen, what happened? See when I dead, yeah. Carry me go to Nigeria. I said, why? What happened? Don't bury me in this country. This is not my fucking country. I was like, bro, calm down. It's like, yeah. And if you don't bury me in Nigeria, you bury me here, I'm gonna haunt your blood clot. I said, Dad. I said, Dad, easy. He goes, no, but I'm deadly serious.
Anybody else? Wahala?
I think I spoke to them about it kind of, but they didn't really actually give me any details of what they wanted to do. I've talked about what I want to be done. I told my niece the other day what I wanted to make sure happen. If I pass.
Richard, what, can you say it now?
I said that, one, I don't want no white people carry me anywhere because they never carried me in life. They don't carry me in death. So
Hold on. We've had the laughter. I want that. Yeah, I might actually make that the intro. Say that again, because that's a beautiful line.
I said, I don't want no white people carrying me because I've never had them carry me in life. I don't want them to carry me in death.
Booyaka. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, rodents and other small insects. Welcome to another episode of the Eloquently Saying Nothing podcast. This is episode 99. I am Stavros Bus. You can catch me at Stavros Bus everywhere. You can catch us collectively at ESN Podcast on all your social medias. Use the hashtag ESN Pod. That is ESN Pod, and join in the conversation. And in the room with me this very night, I have Big Wala.
I have Big Wahala on Insta. I have Big Wahala on Twitter.
Bare enthusiasm. I love it.
And I have Mr. Wolf.
The day water ceases to back the fish, it will simply be picked up in the river with mere hands. Good support and network matter. Absence of good support could make one vulnerable. Yoruba proverb number 93.
I don't think it's been that many, but what's the socials, bruv?
You can catch me on Insta on AKA Mr. Wolf, on Twitter on AKA _ Mr. Wolf. Happy to be here, people. Let's do this again, man. Let's do this. Last week was banging for me, but yeah.
And we also have that actor.
DATACTOR on Instagram and Twitter. No monologue this week, but I would like to say with great power comes great responsibility. Rest in peace, Stanley.
One time.
Cool. We'll get to Stanley at some point in this episode.
We'll get I thought you were going to say you're going to get him in. That's deep.
I told you, I don't believe in that juju stuff.
We'll get
Come from nowhere.
We'll get the babalawo.
Why?
And we have Simple Simon.
Freestyle thing, yeah? Okay.
Go off for it.
Never let the obstacles of your life deter you. Remain stalwart in your resolve. Although there may seem an what's the word? All right, let me do it again. Never let the obstacles of your life deter you. Remain stalwart in your resolve. Although it may seem a situation is irretrievably lost, or there is no hope, you keep going. We will hustle downtown. I fucked it.
Hold on, let me just see if I got it. Is it? There's too long to be down. Is it that one? I'm saying
Yes, you've got to be strong.
that's the one.
No, it's not that one.
You got to be strong.
All right. This is take number 3. I'm gonna try catch you on this one. I'm gonna try catch you on this one. All right, okay. Do not be deterred by obstacles in your life. Remain stalwart in your resolve. Although it seems the situation is irretrievably lost and that there is no hope, you keep on hustling downtown. This is what we do. We sell what we sell because we need to stay alive. We do what we do because we need to survive. We are tired of the situation at hand, and we've been saying so from way before 1995. So they should know that anytime we find ourselves in hunger, we will bear arms. Gaza. This was a poem by the Right Honourable Rodney Price, also known as Bounty Killer.
Oh, yeah.
And the original rendition is, never let your problems get you down. Got to stay focused and hold your ground.
Oh, yes.
Though it seems hopeless, there is no focus. Them a hustle downtown. We do what we do so we stay alive. We sell what we sell cause we have to survive. We tired of the fuckery. And we've been saying since 95. Tell them say anytime.
We hungry again, them a go see we nine. Police out and road say them a fight crime. All the day come and me no see the first time. Tell them say anytime. The government policies are undermined. Poor people plight that a sure sign. Corruption and power go reach its time. Tell them say anytime.
Them hungry again, them a go see we nine. There you go.
Easy.
What's the name of that song?
It's called Anytime.
Thank you.
Anytime.
The Right Honourable Rodney Price, a.k.a. Bounty Killer.
Rodney.
Rodney.
All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So,
And yeah, you don't have to go through all of them, by the way.
well, I want to.
We'll try.
Well, I don't think we should have to, but
Inception.
There's better stuff to talk about this week. Before we get into it, is there anything anyone of you want to jump in now?
I want to say that I want to stay away from as many topics that everyone else is going to talk about as possible.
Cool.
Gaza.
But I don't know how you're going to do that.
I want to say a shout out to Reggie Yates as well.
Yeah, shout out Reggie Yates last week.
Rejoice.
Rejoice.
Yes, yeah, rejoice. Well done.
I thought she was brilliant. Well done, Reggie Yates. Rejoice. I thought your final speech right at the end was so poignant.
Oh, poignant. Yeah.
Poignant.
I like
it.
it.
Hit the spot. You get me? Just like Jollof.
All right, gunshots.
All right, and is there anything that anybody wants to talk about specifically then that may not be something that everybody else is going to be talking about this week?
I want to talk about one thing.
Go on.
I want to talk about why everybody keeps mentioning, what's her name? Nicki Minaj and what's the other girl's name? The one with the brock teeth.
Cardi B.
And about the queen this, the queen that, these two. But nobody ever mentions Leikeli47.
Who?
Leikeli47.
That's why they don't mention her. Who's that?
Leikeli47 is bad, bruv.
Yeah, okay.
But you know Leikeli47, no?
No.
You don't know Leikeli47? She wears a mask.
Oh,
Well, that's why we don't know.
I've heard.
You don't look like the Dalek to me.
Leikeli47 is bad. She's got a new album out called Acrylic that is bad. She had her last two albums was bad. I'm surprised you don't know her. She's got have you heard one of the Boohoo adverts? You know Boohoo?
Yeah.
There's a song in the background that goes money. I got money. Ooh, that's her. Bad tune. She's like Missy.
Okay.
Wicked artist. Go and check out Leikeli47 if you've never heard of her. Please. Wicked artist.
So what's your favourite one of her songs?
I like Money. Money's probably my favourite one I've got.
See if I can find this chick. How do you spell this Leikeli thing?
So it is Leikeli47.
Okay. There's no space. All right, and you like Money?
I like Money. Money's a big tune.
Let's listen to Money.
Hey.
Okay, yeah. I think we've all heard this.
Hey.
Chillin', laying in the cut though, easy. Trying to see what up though. Brooklyn,
Every song
home
needs
of the cut though.
rugged ad-libs.
Notorious, y'all know how to rest go sleep. One eye open. Too smart 'cause I'm always going. Seeing how these lazy. This how you get your frame took money.
Are you sure this is the song that we should be listening to?
I like this song. There's another song called Roll Call as well. That's on a new album.
But is it as good as this?
Oh, is it out now?
Shut up, brother.
I was trying to find it the other day. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like Fruit Based song as well, you know. I like Fruit Based song. I like it, bro.
For most songs actually good.
I like it.
No.
Big batty female. I don't want your butt. I don't want your
So saucy.
And the beat sounds alright still. Is this song good then, yeah?
The song is on the streaming medias now.
But is it good?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It doesn't change. It's 2 minutes 55 seconds.
Oh, the
It's
same thing that he did?
It's actually what he just did. He just did it over a slightly different beat, and it's produced properly.
Yeah, they produced it.
But hey,
I don't want you to trust me, just love me. She looked me dead in the eyes with that secret smile. I told me none of these bitches can ever touch me.
it's good.
I liked
good.
it from when he did the thing anyway.
Yeah, it's just as good. If you you know what, 2 weeks ago I was saying, what is that? We spoke about it on this podcast. I said, explain to me this yay because I don't get it. I heard it. I don't get what the big deal is. 2 weeks later, that's all I'm singing in my head now.
It's because it's so catchy.
That's all I'm singing. Is every
It
day
is so catchy.
I actually just roll down the window.
Yeah.
Shout out Burna Boy.
Yeah.
Has he spoiled it
That's
for
what I'm
Burna Boy?
saying.
No, Burna Boy is Burna. Listen,
He's gone.
Burna Boy.
It's gone.
If they play, like I was saying to who was it? I think it was one of the guys from the '90s baby, the '90s baby show. Is it '90s Babies?
Yeah.
Which one was it? I was
Temi Alchemy.
Yeah, it was Temi. Yeah, so he was talking about that song on Twitter, and I said to him, if they played that at Carnival, people would go mad. And he was like, I don't know. I said, maybe not any Carnival, but if they played at any stadium type thing, that would make people go crazy. Then they showed a video of him when he did it in London. The place was going mad. They just sang the whole song for him.
Yeah.
They sang the whole song for the man. The song is such a banger, man. It's for me. It's the banger of the summer for the Nigerians.
That one pushed him up on YouTube Music, innit? He got put up on Times Square, all the screens in Times Square, because he was YouTube Music Song of the Day or Song of the Week or whatever it was. The song is massive. That
song got big as well because of the Kanye West.
Yeah, because they were looking for the album.
Looking for the album and they found that.
Ah, yes, I remember.
They found that.
I remember.
He was like, but every Nigerian was like, this is the only yay we acknowledge. We don't acknowledge any other yay.
All right, so shout out Burna Boy.
Burna Boy's got props.
Just by chance, my missus was playing that this morning. The three of us were just dancing in the house, me, my wife, and my daughter.
Oh, your daughter likes to dance, man.
I like that song. Play that one again. Play that one again. The way you're proud about your daughter with the food, that's how I'm proud about her with music.
She likes to dance,
She
man.
loves her music.
The other day she went down along. She did one crouching tiger, hidden dragon move, and then started doing one.
That's her new thing now.
Well, she goes to the down.
Yeah. For those of you who can't understand this crouching tiger business, it's what Elvis Presley did when he would crouch down and have one leg is straight and one leg is crooked, like when you're doing an exercise kind of thing.
Like Shawn Michaels used to do when he used to do the
She does that as a dance. I don't know what she's
I don't know
doing.
what she's doing, man.
Gangster.
She's a pretty girl doing that thing, man. Let her do that thing.
All right. Okay. So you want to discuss, just take into account, you want to discuss things that not every other podcast is talking about, but not necessarily everyone that listen to every other podcast.
That's fine. I'm not saying that we can't discuss the things. I don't want to go into bait.
Not everyday
topics.
pods.
All right. Okay, because one of the things that Simple sent in was experiences we have as adults that we never discuss. And that is something that I'm assuming not every podcast is going to be discussing this week.
Talk about that. So what are we talking about though? I don't get it.
Yeah, go on, bruv. You're the originator.
All right, so hear this now, yeah? I was at the family house the other day. You lot know that my family meet up on a Sunday more time, yeah? So we've got like 4 or 5 generations of family under one roof and that.
Yaga.
You get me? So we're in the house now. Selassie. We're in the house now and we're just having like general conversation and that. And then I must have said to them, like, oh yeah, we come here and we talk and that, but there's stuff that we don't tell each other, even though I know we've all experienced it. And they were looking at me like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? I was like, all right, out of all of you lot in here now, I know that every single at least one of you has experienced this. And they're like, what's that? I said, we're in the bed as an adult.
Oh wow. That's random.
Everyone bust up laughing, but out of the people that were in the room, there was like 6 or 7 people in the room. 5 of them came out the gate straight away and they were like, rah.
How many people in the house?
In the house?
5 or 6?
No, 10 people in the house. But there were 7 people in the room, 5 or 6 of them come out and they were like, straight away, yeah, actually I've experienced that. One of my aunties seemed like she had been waiting her whole life to tell this piece of information because she was like, oh my God, I didn't think that, it was something that people experience or whatever. And then she started talking about how she wet herself.
Okay, I see what
So
you mean.
I'm saying, have you man ever wet yourself in adulthood?
All right, well, let me
Wet
go.
the bed, not even adulthood, not even yourself.
Let
Just
me go,
wet the bed.
Let me go first. This is Stavros here. So I'm. What's when you expose yourself when you're giving a
Testimony.
but I wet
Confessions.
the bed until I was a teenager.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking hell, bruv. You think that's connected to you sucking your thumb?
No.
Just because you're lazy.
No, I just
didn't wake up
when I
on this
sleep.
week.
I sleep.
Hang on. So what age did you say teenager?
19.
No, it was up to 19, but it was into my teens. It was early teens, but it was into my teens. I can't remember when it was.
He's a bad man, He would just admit anything on the airways where.
But it's there, innit? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, it happened, didn't it?
Yeah, I was
different to my piss.
I was embarrassed. It's not something I've ever like. I think I've told my girlfriends, and that's about it. So
Is that something you tell your woman? You know what? You may wake up with piss tomorrow.
it's not even like that. Though. You know, I tell my women,
Baby
everything.
girl,
So,
if the bed's wet, it ain't because I came.
Oh shit. So hang on a minute. So
man comes and then wets the bed like that. Anyway, that's the woman's job. Bro, what is it you're doing?
So I'm saying, yeah. So up into your teenage years, that's a bit deep still.
Yep.
But then, have you ever in adulthood wet the bed?
No.
Never.
No.
You've never had that dream where you're taking a
Are
great.
we talking about a wet dream? Or
No.
wet in the bed?
I'm talking about wet in the bed.
Have you wet the bed as that?
I wet the bed as older, but I've done it, boy.
Why have you looked people wet in the bed as that?
Bruv, have you never had that dream, yeah, where you're taking the most great piss that you've ever had in your life, yeah, and then for some strange reason,
Maybe.
you wake up and you're like, blood clot, what? Yeah, exactly.
No.
That's never happened to you before.
No, I get up, I walk all the way down the stairs, through the whole house, down to the kitchen, through the bedroom, and go and piss.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying.
Several times in the night.
I hear you, but you don't understand what I'm saying to you. There comes a time where there's that dream.
No, it doesn't come to me.
All right, cool.
That
Sounds
dream
like the
resulted in
start of a song from an 80s TV program.
There comes a time when you have that dream.
And I came up.
What about
in
you?
your pussy.
Me, I'll admit to it. I've had the same dream.
Why are you not pissing in your bed, man?
Fucking hell, bro.
Because you feel like you're going to toilet and it's the best toilet ever.
Yes.
And you realize it's a bit warm. Hang on a minute. What? And the bed is wet.
The bed's wet.
I can't believe we're discussing this.
Neither can I.
Mr. Wolf?
They're gonna nickname us the piss takers, boy. Fucking hell. Serious? No.
Okay, me and you are
Seriously.
I don't get
taking my bedroom.
I get up, vex,
Yeah,
and
very
go to
vexed.
toilet because I do not like to break my sleep, and breaking my sleep to go toilet to me is just I hate it.
Understand this, yeah? Up until the point where it happened to me, I was impeccable with waking up on going to the toilet. When it happened to me, I couldn't even believe it. It was so deep, yeah, that I stood next to the bed and
Looking at it, like,
I was looking at
what's
it.
this?
What's happened? And then for some strange reason, I was looking for my parents to come and help me. Bruv, I just got remissed back to childhood.
A lot of people that drink don't piss the bed.
It wasn't. I wasn't drunk. I
Okay.
didn't drink.
Let me ask some questions.
Did
here,
this
'cause-
happen like way back in
I hate this.
March?
I say way back in March, you know. Yeah, around about there. It's recent. It's not even.
Oh, for real?
Seriously.
I was-
So was your woman in the bed with you?
No.
I was joking.
It recently happened to me, man.
Oh,
Recently.
shit.
And this is what made me think like this must have happened to somebody else.
when you're moving the sheets, your child looks at you like, you're disgusted, mate.
Thankfully, it happened and no one was home. So I was all right.
Fucking hell, you must have turned the mattress upside down.
Bruv, I did the full work. I sorted it all
Washed
out.
it.
But there was a moment where I was standing there like, Mummy.
Like, what? You scratch your head like, what do I do?
Bruv, it was baffling.
Wahala says he gets up at night to go to the loo. Mr. Wolf says he doesn't like it, but he's had to do it. Is that a common thing?
I very rarely wake up to go toilet.
Okay, this is my question. That actor, is it something that is it a nightly thing or for you or what?
I wake up and go to toilet, and obviously it's upsetting because you're having a good sleep
He said now, as in I've got to the age now.
yesterday. But yeah, it's one of those things that happens. It's for me when that happened. I think I'd been out and I was really, really, really tired. But I'd also drunk
Okay.
a whole lot of water just to make sure my system is flushed and cleaned out. And then I just went to bed.
Yeah.
The dream came. And that dream was so good.
Dream.
So yeah, it's just one of those things. I thought everybody went through it.
Weird topic.
But I did want to ask you, Simple,
Yeah.
when you have the family gatherings at your house,
Yeah.
do the family roll call? Is it like, Uncle, no, Auntie, Yaga.
I don't think it's that side.
Gaza.
It's the other side.
It's the Niger side.
No.
Uncle, what thing you want?
Do you get up at night to use the toilet?
This is an interesting thing, yeah. I find that I don't get up at night to go to the toilet generally. What happens is, in the morning, I take a 45-second long piss.
Oh yes.
And when I take, it's like, I probably, and no word of a lie or exaggeration, between 500 and 750 mils of liquid. That's how
How
much.
do you measure that shit?
Not because I am there literally for 45 seconds. I'm not exaggerating at all. I'll be there.
The morning,
That was long pisses.
No, it's long. It's
the
long.
morning piss where you put your hands to your waist, like your waist, like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Because
One hand on the waist, one hand on the wall.
One of the wall.
It's the one on the wall, man. You just
I'll-
lean and you just kind of.
Because I'm saying I don't wake up at night.
No, I don't.
No, that's why you piss the bed, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. I'll wake up.
Clearly not. Well, clearly not anymore.
But now you control it to the point where you get to the morning.
But in the morning, when I wake up, I can lie there and be cool.
Yeah.
But the minute
you get
I get
up,
up, I have to
to go
It's
to
like,
toilet. Yep.
Your body says,
This is what happens to me. Right, so if any bit of cold touches me, I need to go to the toilet. If I go to the toilet, come back upstairs and think, man, I went to the toilet and I need to then go to the toilet.
Bruv,
So you're basically my dad.
As soon as I think about the toilet, I have to go to the toilet.
no wonder you're so miserable.
I have to. And you know what, yeah? It's sometimes,
Are you thinking about the toilet now?
yeah, I want to go to the toilet now. That's the thing. Because when you think about the toilet, I want to go to the toilet. It's like as soon as it's like maybe, you know, when your parents used to tell you, do you want to go to the toilet? And then you're like, no, but then you go when you were a little child. I
Yeah.
think maybe that's how I programmed it. If they ask you or you think about it, you just want to go. And now I just want to go. Hey, let me ask you another question though. Right, we've all lived with a woman at some point, I'm assuming, yeah?
I'm worried about you, man.
Have you ever woke up with a woman on purpose, Bax?
Woken up on purpose?
Yeah.
By accident. What? How does that happen?
In other words, you say it's accident, but you did it on purpose.
Woken her up for what?
Just because you woken up, that she has to wake up as well.
Nah, I
No,
don't do that,
I
man.
hate waking people
What kind
up.
of selfish bit?
What's wrong with you?
You don't do that, do you?
No, but women do it all the time, and this is what I wanted to discuss in the first place.
Nah,
Women will wake you up for no good reason because they're awake.
yeah.
And now everyone else has to be awake.
Yeah, that's what happens. My daughter's the same.
But why?
Because that's just how they are.
They need company.
Yeah, no.
I don't wake my woman up on purpose. I do wake my woman up when I go to the toilet though. But now she
Why?
started to go through because I wake up to somebody as
Oh,
big as
not
me.
in- not
When I wake
intentionally.
up, the bed goes normally flat again, innit?
Not intentionally. You just wake her up because
But
you're
what-
walking
what-
up
You have
and
to
down.
climb over her.
No, she goes. She
And kick her in the face.
If I have kicked her in the face.
That's what I'm saying.
I've kicked her in the face.
That's not
before.
right. Go on.
If the amount of abuse that this woman could actually talk about, they would actually put her in the Me Too, boy. Because I've kicked her in the face. What else have I done to her? I've slapped her one time by accident. The kick is still the best one, though.
The man said the
It
best
was an
one.
accident, but the best one.
But
best
the kick-
one.
If you saw the kick, it was fantastic.
Oh my God.
Because it was almost like a spinning bird
Sonic
kick.
boom.
Yeah.
Spinning bird kick.
kick.
Because
Wow.
I was going down to go to the to get on the sofa, and I was twisting round.
Like, douse him,
and
like,
as I
douse him.
twisted
No,
round,
proper Chung Lee, bro.
my foot slapped her in the face.
Oh my God.
Poor woman, man.
All right.
Enough of the piss. Enough of the piss.
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna go through quick.
Stop taking the piss.
What's his name? Lewis Hamilton. Did you hear his comments about F1?
I have no idea.
About the Indians are
The
poor.
history of F1.
I didn't
yeah.
even read it.
So F1, he's doing an interview and he's asked questions about F1 going to new places, branching out, and he says he would like to keep it in places with real racing history.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's talking about places like London and Germany,
Brazil.
and what else did he say? And it's certain places like that. Yeah. So he said, let's see.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm sorry. He said we've got a lot of real racing history in England, Germany, Italy, and now in the States, and it's starting to grow. I've been to Vietnam before, and it was beautiful. I've been to India before to a race, which was strange because India is such a poor place, yet we had a massive, beautiful Grand Prix track made in the middle of nowhere. I felt very conflicted when I went to that Grand Prix. He said we had a Grand Prix in Turkey and hardly anyone came. Cool track, cool weekend, but poor audience. So he's got a bit backlash for saying, what are you talking about poor India and not doing things in Turkey? Like, are you trying to keep this sport as an elitist thing?
I kind of get what you're saying, though. It kind of, it's quite straightforward, isn't it?
Let's be honest. F1 is an elitist thing.
It is.
It blatantly is. Do you know how expensive it is to go to the places where?
That's why I said keep it as an elitist.
That's what I'm saying. to you.
No. But what he's saying is that places that like India, he's comparing the poverty,
Shithole.
the poverty that is what I'm saying. It's a bit harsh, bro.
No, you know why I'm saying it? Sorry, I'm going to cut into it.
Who said that?
But yeah, Simple Simon said it.
Yeah, okay.
You know why I'm saying it? Yeah, I was talking to one of my Donnies this week who just come back from India.
Are you using Donny now?
Yeah, that's my
Okay,
thing.
okay.
So I said to him, "Oh yeah, I was in there and that," and he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, it was an experience." No, he actually stopped and he said, "Let me give you the PC answer. It was an experience." I said to him, "Don't give me the PC answer. Tell me what
Is this a black?
What's really going on? What's really going on? He goes, I'll never visit that place again in my life. I said, Jesus. He said, it's horrible. I said, what do you mean it's horrible? He goes, it's just, everything is just, it's just a horrible place. I'm like, come on, man, you can't say that. He goes, no, don't get me wrong. I went to the super rich areas and it looks very nice. But in between the super rich areas, like,
There's a lot of poor.
there's like poor people. He said there was one point where he was in the car and he was driving and he just saw dead bodies on the side of the road wrapped up in sheets because the people are too poor to bury them. So they're waiting for the government to come and take them. And the bodies are just there in the street. He said that there's bodies of water that are around the place where you can see human bones coming out of the water and then they drink the water. And he said it's just a horrible place.
So basically, from what I see, Lewis Hamilton is saying is that you've got all of this madness in your country. The poverty level is extremely high, yet you're going to spend close to $1 billion on rupees or whatever it is on Formula One. And where is that money going to?
It makes sense what he's saying, but it's just that obviously people don't like to hear that their country's poor, and people don't like to be said that. If you said that about Nigeria, a lot of proud Nigerians would be like, "Well, why can't we have it?" But we know full well that we chatting right if you did that too.
I'll be honest with you. I think that Nigeria should have a Formula One track.
I don't know if they should have a Formula One track. Well, I do think that they should have
More sporting events. Yeah.
more arenas. Yeah,
No, the reason why I'm saying a Formula One track, you know how much additional revenue comes from just having a Formula One
so
track?
then why shouldn't India have it?
No, I didn't say they shouldn't. I just said that there's a shithole.
I just think to myself,
I didn't say that they shouldn't have it. And yes, if you're Indian and you take offense to what I'm saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you take offense. Anyway, so I'm saying like with regards to Nigeria, I think that we should have it because of the additional revenue that comes with it. But these people are not smart enough for that. I don't know why.
do you think that Nigeria is on a better level than India
In terms of what?
in shitholeness?
Yes,
Why?
because we've got less population.
So
That's true.
So that means that we're less of a shithole because we've got less people.
No, I think
Generally speaking, yeah.
there's
When I went to India looked better to me than Nigeria did.
The every parts of India you went to.
Yeah, he went to the.
This guy went to
He
this guy.
touristy bit, innit?
Yeah, this guy went to 7 different states within India.
remember you stay in the touristy places
Yeah.
as well.
No, to be honest, the place that I stayed wasn't that tourist. I was in the jungle, bro. What are you talking about?
Are you that?
I
What
was in
about
there,
you're
mate.
moving
So
around
elephants and all
outside
that.
the hotel?
Elephants and all
realms.
that, mate. It was a trip in it.
He felt like he felt like he was outside the hotel. He was still in
Did you
the
see
grounds.
Ant
He
and
didn't
Dec?
realize.
Did you see Ant and Dec?
I saw them, man. Bush tucker trials and all that.
So there's no problem with this. People should understand where he's coming from and saying, listen, we understand that maybe it's not the PC thing to say, but he has a point. It's an elitist sport. It's an expensive sport. To build these expensive tracks in poor areas, it don't seem it don't seem righteous.
He can't say anything without people getting annoyed with him.
Exactly. Yeah, I was.
Lewis Hamilton said, why are you wearing the dress to his nephew, and they sorted him. When most people in the world would ask the nephew, why are you wearing the dress?
Would he have got less of a backlash if it was a white Formula One driver saying this?
I don't know. I don't want to always put everything on race.
Everything is race.
Wow.
Yeah, but not everything. If you get what I'm saying. Sometimes what you say,
It's everything. But it's not everything.
yeah, sometimes what you say is controversial enough that it doesn't matter who said it. And then you can add race on if you want to, but really, if somebody else has said it, it'll still be an
I
issue.
agree with that. I think that it will be controversial depending on the severity of the comment. But if it is coming from a black person, then it adds more weight to the backlash.
Do you think Lewis Hamilton sees himself as a black person?
Do you know what? We were having this conversation in the barbershop.
I think he does.
You see, I like...
You spend too much time in that place.
Maybe.
For a person with no hair.
It's true, bro.
Maybe. My son goes there, we chill. I'm in there maybe, once a week. I get him to shave my head. I don't do it myself.
Okay.
So,
How lazy you are.
yes, I'll go in there. Gentlemen.
It's for social business.
Yeah. But I enjoy black sportsmen doing well, being the best, especially when they're in a sport where we are not known to do well in, like golf, Tiger Woods, Formula One, Lewis Hamilton, and the Williams sisters and what have you. So I like it. Hold your thought simple. So when Lewis Hamilton is doing his thing, he's winning and he's doing well. The people don't like him based on his race. I'm telling you that from now. They hate him in the background. And I know that he larges up his dad a lot. But the question was raised in the barbershop. Do you think that he is black? Do you think that he's actually proud to see himself as partly black or black. And it caused a big debate. I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't tell.
Thank you for giving us your answer.
20 years later.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I like.
What's wrong with you? Like,
Every week you lot have this back and forth.
it's true.
Because I'm just playing with you, bro. Calm down.
Whatever,
I like black
it's not
people.
just you, it's everybody else.
Wolfpack.
I like black people in sports as well. Yeah. But I'm slightly different to you in the sense that I like black people in sports as the imagery. Yeah. So I don't care whether or not the individual considers themselves black or not. I like the imagery. So for example, with the Tiger Woods thing, when it came out that he's like, oh, you know, I'm not black and trying to deny it and all the rest of it.
No, he said he wasn't. He was mixed, and that is what he is.
Yeah,
I don't
which
know
is-
if
yeah,
anything
which is-
wrong with the man saying that.
Which is
I'm
fine.
a mummy, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fine. But again, I don't care for that part because from what I see, what I'm looking at is a black person, whether they're mixed or not.
That one looks like he eats.
I agree with you.
Solo
Do you know what I'm saying to you?
fried rice,
Co-sign.
Hello fried chicken.
He looks
I'm
like
with
he
Simple
makes
Simon
fried
as well.
rice.
You eat five lies?
I'm with him as well because regardless of what Tiger Woods said, he said, "I'm not black. I'm cobbling Asian." I think that's the word that he used. But you can say whatever you want. People see you as black in it. It's simple.
Cobbling Asian.
That's what he said. Yeah,
What's that?
a combination of black and Asian. That's what he said
Blasian,
on the
Don't they call them Blasians?
not what he said.
Blackanese.
He said it on what's this woman's talk show?
Oprah?
When
Oprah. Yeah.
All right, okay.
He said that I'm a cobbling Asian.
Is that when Oprah did that gift
Combination.
that she does and she was
Yeah, I don't care about that. But for me, it's just like, what do the children see? The children see somebody who looks like somebody who, you know what I'm saying?
Who is close to
But is it
how
just
they
looking?
look.
It just looking like them? Is that enough?
In this
Sometimes.
instance, yes.
Sometimes
I don't
it
know,
is.
man. I don't know if just looking like them is enough, man. Because there was black footballers that I didn't necessarily relate to, but I related to Ian Wright because he reminded me of the man. Them.
Yeah, because now you've gone beyond the football and you've gone beyond to him talking after the football. Yeah, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at, if you look at the imagery, like you've got a child here who wants to play a sport and then they look on television and see a professional playing that sport who happens to look either like them or similar to members of their family so that they can identify. I like that imagery.
What's the one that plays for Man City? The one that runs like
Sterling.
like he wears a
Raheem
skirt?
Sterling.
I love him.
So like him,
love Raheem.
if I was just to look at him, I wouldn't think he was like somebody like me. But then when you see his misses, when you see the stuff that he does for the community and other
think
things,
football's
so
different.
it's outside of what he does for football that I see. Oh,
Football's a bit different now, though.
It seems like I can relate to you because as he just on the pitch, for some reason, he just doesn't can resonate with me.
All right, I'll go as far as to say, if we were in a state of football where he was the only black player or one of a few black players, you would relate to him more.
Yeah, because there's more.
Okay,
But
yeah.
I think like the reason why I say stuff like Ian Wright, because Ian Wright, I remember when Ian Wright did the bogle when he scored a goal. That was massive for me because why is man bogling?
He did it in the Nike advert as well when they did it on Hackney Marshes.
Why is man bogling? And I'm like, that's something that is the man that will do. You know what I mean? At the time,
It was a very robot like bogle, but it was a bogle.
it was a bogle nonetheless. And I was like, boy, man's bogling up. It was something different. It was different from people like John Barnes, who I thought was black, but this didn't necessarily relate to me because he was from Liverpool. Maybe that was why. At the time, Ian Wright had a black family, a full black
played
family
for
as well.
Liverpool.
Yeah, but he just like, what was
But
he from?
he's
What was he
from Jamaica, isn't it?
No, I'm talking about when his accent was talking. He sounded like he was from Liverpool.
He certainly weren't Northwest. It was, I don't know. He came from Jamaica, around about
But
the
his
same
accent
age
is
as.
Liverpool though.
No, he ain't got a Liverpool accent. John Barnes.
Yes, of course he does.
Mad, bruv.
Even when you hear him speak
I
now.
think it's mixed.
it's mixed.
He's got
Oh,
like a
I'm not
twitch.
even gonna have a debate on
You're on, yeah, man,
Alright.
like Johnny Barnes.
Johnny Barnes.
Doesn't sound like that to me.
You know, sound like Johnny Barnes to
And he
me.
lived in London for a majority of his time here, and then he went from London to Liverpool to play.
I don't know. Anyway, I didn't relate to him. Maybe because I'm not Jamaican then. But then Ian Wright was also Jamaican, and I thought, well, I relate to him. But he looks like he's from the bits.
From the bits. All right. We got something sent in from a listener. I
Flow
want
it
you
in.
to listen to it. Just about 45 seconds. So here we go. If it
I hate listening
plays.
to things, man.
Yeah, you hate everything in life. Let's see how this thing works. Play for me.
Play for me.
My mum sitting me down and talking to me about what she wanted when she passed away. allowed us to have a real in-depth conversation. The fact that she said like a lot of the things that she had been through in the UK felt like she was living in a box. She didn't want to be in a box when she then dies as well. So that's why she wanted to be cremated and scattered in her father's land.
Says Tosin lost both of her parents within 3 months.
Shit.
But I wish I had had that conversation with my dad and I knew what he wanted. I just did the best that I thought I could. It's almost like going into a situation completely blindfolded.
All right. I'll stop it there. It's a long video. I'll post a link on our social media. But the question was, let me see. Wondered if this would be a topic to touch on your podcast. Please, I'm interested to hear the discussions around it. So burying your parents, knowing their wishes. It's a bit morbid, sorry. But knowing what they would want, do you feel that you have that information now? That if, God forbid, something happens, that you're like, yep, I know what they want, I know how they want it, I know where they want it. And as sad as I am at the moment, at least that's not one thing I have to worry about.
Yeah, I've Simple Simon. I've had that conversation. It was thrust upon me.
I can imagine your dad said it.
Yeah, my dad was on one, boy.
Simple. When we did dead, yeah. Just make sure you put me in. Don't put me in them fuckery place there. Yeah?
He said something like along those lines.
He said it just like that as well.
To me, listen, what happened? See when I dead, yeah. Carry me go to Nigeria. I said, why? What happened? Don't bury me in this country. This is not my fucking country. I was like, raw, calm down. It's like, yeah. And if you don't bury me in Nigeria, you bury me here, I'm gonna haunt your blood clot. I said, Dad. I said, Dad, easy. He goes, no, but I'm deadly serious. He's like, listen, you put me. We have the land that's there. My grandmother's buried on the land. One of my aunts is buried on the land, and he said, you put me there. That's where I belong. And if you don't, you will never. You said to me, you'll never live happy for the rest of your life.
Right? You know, that's a proper Nigerian thing.
I said to him, Dad, you can't do that to me. Like,
I'll threaten you now and from beyond the grave.
Even in death, Nigerians are still trying to battle for land.
That's what. Man, yeah. So man, he made it quite clear that that's what has to be done. And then, ironically, I don't know if that's ironic. Yeah, maybe. My mum, on the other hand, was just on something like, yo, you know what? I'm not really too fast, just cremate her, girl, and just say. I was like, you serious, mum? Like, just like that? She said, yeah, I'm not too fussed about that. I don't want my funeral plans to be a financial burden or headache on you, or for you to feel like you have to have some level or something that you have to meet up to. Just cremate, take me one side, say a little prayer for me, and throw the ashes. I said, all right, then cool, I can live with that. So I've had the conversation with both of them, and they, like I said, my dad made a point of it, and he said it to me when I was a teenager. Then he said it to me again a few years later, and it was exactly the same thing he said. And I'm like, okay, so you definitely want this. So yeah, we've had that conversation.
Anybody else?
I haven't had that conversation. That actor here, haven't had the conversation, but I don't know. I don't know how I would deal with it. I guess because I've lost my father and my brother, and there was no plans to do anything with their remains. So it's something the family hasn't spoken about regarding anybody as yet. So I don't know.
Mr. Wolf?
I've had that chat with my mum. I haven't had it with my dad.
Wahala?
I think I spoke to them about it kind of, but they didn't really actually give me any details of what they wanted to do. I've talked about what I want to be done. I told my niece the other day what I want her to make sure happen if I pass.
Richard, what, can you say it now?
I said that, one, I don't want no white people carry me anywhere because they never carried me in life. They don't carry me in death. So
Hold on. We've had the laughter. I want that. Yeah, I might actually make that the intro. Say that again, because that's a beautiful line.
I said, I don't want no white people carrying me because I've never had them carry me in life. I don't want them to carry me in death.
Booyaka.
So all of these, I want a proper black, pallbearers or whatever. If I'm in this country, I'm in this country. You bury me. I ain't making no money to fly me all the way back to somewhere that's long. Yeah, if possible, the cheapest casket you can find. And I think I prefer to be buried than to be cremated because you never know, a man might come back from somewhere. You never know.
It's a bit deep.
You never know. So, I just wanted to make sure it's like that. And I want everybody to enjoy. If I'm old enough, I want everybody to enjoy their life, enjoy the day and whatnot. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it's as cheap and cheerful as possible and make sure that it's blacks that are the ones that you would burying and a pool burying or whatever, and I would like to be properly buried, meaning I do not want to be used any truck or anything. I want you to use the shovel and you bury me.
All right, so
to the top.
This is the thing.
To the top, I said.
Well,
Yeah, can I ask why you haven't spoke to the rest of your family about this and just your niece?
No,
Because this is part of the problem,
some of them
innit?
was there,
Oh, okay.
but because I thought to myself, I haven't got any kids, and she's not the oldest, but she was the one that was there that I thought if I tell her she will remember it and do it. I told her.
Oh,
I expect them to die before me.
I forgot something. Both of my parents said this. My dad was a bit more illicit with when he said it. His exact words were, and don't let them take them my blood clot organs. Because them are for me. And when I go back to the father, I want to be whole. That's what he said. And my mum said, yeah, don't do the organ business. Don't.
Okay, well, let's. I want you to ask the question if you can at one point. Let's say that God forbid one of you man need that organ,
It's mad, isn't it?
and they are the batch. Are you going to say that you can't take it to give it to you?
I was gonna fill out the organ donor thing,
Yeah.
and then so for the longest I said it's like for me it's like at 40 I'm gonna do all of my affairs. I want to clear all my debts, buy a big house, and then do all my affairs. So do the will, do the life insurance, do yada yada yada, and that was part of the plan to do the organ business. And then for some reason since then to now. I think it's some of you lot when you're talking about organ harvesting and I don't know afterlife business, and then I start thinking I don't know anymore but I just think my organs. I know I'm fat, I'm out of shape, but maybe there's something in there that might be good for somebody. And why not? If I'm dead, I don't need it. But then you start thinking maybe something might happen. I don't know. But
I see you walking dead, boy.
I don't know. I just don't know.
It's crazy that.
I don't know. So
It's crazy.
Or maybe they'll take it anyway. So
Yeah, that's Mr. Wolf's thing. Let me ask this question because Big While I touched on it. We went to a funeral a few years ago, and when it came to burying the person, we all the son started to actually bury the mum, and everybody jumped in. And what happened was the people with the what do they call the thing, the digger where they dump the dirt in. None of you know the name.
The poor birds, isn't it?
No, the actual
JCB,
machine.
the digger.
The JCB thing. So basically they come like after you've done a few bits and bobs, they come and it's like, okay, we'll do the rest because obviously there's a massive amount of dirt. And they're like, no. We bury. So they stood there for half an hour or so whilst
Much longer than half an hour.
Okay, a long time. Everybody started to bury the person, and then basically more and more people jumped in. It started rotating because there was only about 3 shovels, and so we had to pass them around. They got more shovels. It got tiring. It was a hot day. So all of that happened, and then the conversation I was having with my sister is, in that culture, you bury them. You don't allow
Somebody else to bury. Yeah.
And then we had a funeral recently, and it was the opposite happened. People did the original bits of dirt, and then the people came and they used their JCB and they did the thing. And my sister was the same thing. It's like, well, we wouldn't have done that. We would have done it the other way around. And I'm like, listen, when it's me, just use the JCB. Like, what difference does it make? Like, I don't get it. So, whereas Wahala was talking about, he said all the sensible things in my room, use a cheap casket because there's ones that's biodegradable. There's actually just cardboard boxes you can put yourself in cheap. Use that because what difference does it make? Just, you were talking about you don't care where you're buried. I actually do care where I'm buried, but all of this stuff. And then when it comes to throwing the dirt on you, all of a sudden now it's like you must do it. Why?
No, you must bury me, man.
Yeah, why?
No,
Because that's a respecting. If you love me, then you don't need to spend money. You don't need to do stuff. But I want your hard-earned sweat.
So it's just your missus that's going to be burying you.
Your
then.
sweat needs to go into the. Yeah, she can do it on her own.
Yeah, well,
if you lot are not prepared to help, then she will do it on her
I
own.
could help, but you said if I love you.
I want the sweat to drip into the soil to feed whatever feeding that needs to be done. I want you to bury me.
So now all of a sudden,
You think our sweat's going to bring you back to
exactly.
life?
Sentiment
Yes.
comes involved now.
Listen, if you don't bury me, I will be upset in death. Bury me, man.
Well, hopefully I'll go before you, innit?
Yeah,
I'm older.
Well, you should go before me.
Yeah.
I'll bury you.
I'm telling you now, you don't need to.
Each other, I'll be cussing you as well.
And that's the point of it. The idea of having people actually put the dirt on.
Yeah.
There's a time lapse that happens there, and in that time lapse, you are in your faults, and you are in other people's faults.
You've been thinking
It's a traditional thing,
up into the burial, man.
And there's also a level of camaraderie around the people that are doing the burying.
Yeah.
You will find that those people are probably the core people for that person that has been buried. It's a good way to strengthen an already tight bond or create one that wasn't there before.
And it allows you to know that that person is buried. You did that. No one's coming to come and do whatever shenanigans that you want.
Yeah, but you stand there and watch it. You don't just walk away.
People walk away usually with the diggers. They don't stand there. They do walk away.
I'm saying at my funeral, no one wear any of this black business. I want live colours.
I want black.
And my thing is a rave. You lot have to rave. If no one don't bogle at my funeral, it's not going to be nice. You know, like that.
Okay. So does everyone else know what they want? So you've Simple Simon has said you want live colours. You want it to be more of a celebration.
Yeah, celebrate
than
me.
a commiseration.
Yeah, celebrate me.
And you
my
want to be
AG.
buried by hand. By shovel, human burial.
Just
all right?
know that if you go before me, I'm going to cut off one lock.
For what now?
I use it for ritual.
We can try and bring man back. Or try and grow your own hair.
But on the real, would you have an issue with somebody taking like a close loved one taking a lock and like this is something for me to remember him by? Because it doesn't go anywhere, and it's never going to die. Your hair don't go nowhere.
Yeah, hair doesn't stop growing, does it? Hair and teeth, apparently.
That's mad.
It does.
It stops, but it doesn't rot.
Yeah, it's just it remains forever, so they can keep it. That's a lifelong thing they can just keep.
Maybe, I don't know how. I haven't really thought about that. That's that's your trademark, isn't it?
Maybe they'll take one grain and put it in a bowl of rice.
They can put it into their hair.
Called your hair grain.
And put it in a bowl of rice.
They can actually put it into their hair, you know.
That's proper.
If they got locks, they can put it into their own hair.
It's true. They can do that.
Damn.
Give it to my daughter or something. I don't know.
I want them to turn me into diamond if at the time it's cheap enough. Or
He was black as coal anyway, so yeah.
you know you can because we're all carbon based. For those of you that don't know your thingy, and that's what diamonds are. It's just carbon.
But how much pressure would they have to put someone as fat as you under?
Just shots. So, either that, or when they turn you into a seed of some sort, and they bury, or they put you in soil.
Yeah.
They
have you seen
the ashes?
The incubator things that they make? It's like an egg.
Yeah. They make an egg. They put you in the ashes. They put seed in it, and they put all this stuff, and they make it into like an egg, and they bury it, and then that grows into a tree. Or something like
But
that.
it's expensive. It's expensive.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't like that witchcraft.
Yeah, because they put seeds in it. They've just mixed you in with the soil.
I've done that. One of the children that I
So
lost.
dogs can come and piss on you.
One of the children.
You get me?
One of the children that I lost. We did a cremation and then planted the tree. Tree grew big.
Yeah, but that's different though. You're saying they mix it into something.
No, soil. You just mix it in the soil and you put seeds that's going to grow into whatever.
Nah, I don't
Mix the
trust it.
ashes into soil, add seeds.
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Tree's a big tree now. Anyway, yeah,
And you see the children of the trees or whatever.
Yeah.
I just think that's. I don't trust things like that.
No, and the tree's flourishing, bruv.
I don't want any statues as well.
I wouldn't eat the fruit off of it though.
So do you
wouldn't.
know where you want to
get
be
that, though.
buried? Do you know where you want to be buried?
Lock me up.
Personally, Mr. Wolf is not sure. I'm not sure if I want to be here or back home. Right now, I haven't got a place where I could be buried. There's not land that I have of my own. If I get to a point where I have land and it's big and
Back home, you're talking
family,
about?
then
Alright.
it's big and family are there all the time, then perhaps. But then even then, I'm not sure.
I just want to be buried somewhere that my family wants me to be, so they can see me if they need to see me while I'm dead.
Back home,
I don't care where it is.
Stavros in Nigeria.
You people that don't even go in there when you're alive, it's what to be
I
buried
was
there.
dead. How many months ago?
I'm not really concerned about where I get buried, you know.
No.
Like my after death thing, the only thing I want is the rave. That's it. I don't really care about anything else. Like them lot can fight over the few pennies that I have. I don't give a shit about any of that. I really don't care.
The actor?
I'm kind of the same with Simple. Don't want no one wearing any shoes. Wear your trainers and have fun. Celebrate my life. Don't mourn my death.
But if you know the mud gets messy, you want me to wear my trainers?
Yeah, wear your trainers, man.
We'll put a carrier bag over there, man.
I'll just break out some Umbro or something.
Yeah, I don't care if
I go first sport, innit?
you wear flipping whatever trainers. Just wear trainers.
Okay, remember when MG passed? And we all Liverpool.
That's
we were
right.
Liverpool. Yeah. Can you imagine? That top boy, I wanted to burn it after. But we did it for him, boy.
So, okay, then just to... it sounds really mad, doesn't it? Or is it just me? The headphones?
No, it's just
It's not really odd.
All right. So it's split in it. So just to be real and to let you into a little bit of a personal life. So as Dactor said, his brother passed, and I'm sure you've heard it before if you listen to the podcast. Stavros Nawala's brother passed. This gonna be 19 years the day before this podcast is released, I think. So it's a 19.
No, he didn't done his birthday.
Sorry, no, his birthday is 19 years this week, basically. As this podcast drops, it's 19 years since he's passed. Since, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So it's his birthday, but it's 19 years ago since he passed. Anyways, so we had different wishes. So, for instance, with my brother, it was suicide. So he had a note, and he actually said he wanted to be cremated and buried in Nigeria. And, you know, it's obviously somebody committed suicide. He was 20 at the time. You know, it's a big deal. Nobody expected it. Everybody was hurt.
He's 20. He's older than 20, 28.
He was 20. I was 20 at the time. Sorry. I was 20 at the time. You know, so, you know, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's hurt. And these are his last wishes. He's written it down. So what did we do? We ignored that and buried him in the church, even though he was Muslim.
We think you were laugh, but that's what we did.
That's not funny, but it is funny. It's so messed up. It's such a Nigerian thing to
But
do.
you know, but you know why I don't feel a way about it, because his children get to see him.
Okay.
At where we would have buried him, his children would never have seen him.
Yeah, but then you then come to, is it his wishes or is it the children?
After you kill yourself, your wishes are not mine to. I don't really respect them.
They are kind of null and void. Right.
It can't be. He wrote the letter especially.
Yeah, but okay, here's the thing.
Specifically.
Here's the thing. Yeah, he had a family, he had children. So, although, right, nowadays we talk a lot about mental health. We talk about, one of the things we might bring up this week is a big YouTuber was talking about, she's taking a break from YouTubing because of, she needs time to herself, because she YouTubes every day. And people can understand it. A lot of podcasters listen to us. Podcasters can understand, maybe I need a break. To have to put out content every week or every day is just a struggle. So everyone's talking about mental health. And so this is something that happened, like we said, nearly 20 years ago. So people weren't talking about it then. And at the time, it's like, listen, you have a family, you have children, and you have the responsibility. So although you wrote these things down and you said this is what you wanted, like what Hala said, we have to now look out for the children that you left behind. And one of those things may be your children want to see you because they don't get to go home. In fact, since then, they've never been home. So he had been home, I think.
No.
He had never been back home, actually, by the time he had died. His children have never been back home, even up to now.
Back home, meaning Nigeria.
Nigeria, yeah. So for you to say you want to get buried back home, maybe you're depriving your children of because you left very early. Like if my parents die now, I've had a good long life with them. They've lived to a decent age. I can, you know.
I do think that maybe they scattered a little bit in Nigeria, you know.
And maybe.
I think they scattered a little bit in Nigeria, but not all of it.
Okay.
So it's half and half.
So
but you said that you buried him.
No. We still burnt him.
Oh, still Caribbean.
yeah,
but we just put the
ashes. Yeah,
okay.
Some of the ashes is just around the corner from where we live, the family home in the manor in Hackney.
Yeah,
and then there might have been something about something going back home.
Nigeria.
I can't
I think
remember.
we might have did a little bit. I can't remember now.
But
not. Sorry, go on. I was going to say not to question what you were saying. Well, to question what you were saying, in the sense that you said that the children haven't been back to Nigeria or whatever. What if his ashes being there would have been the catalyst to you guys making sure you take them back?
No,
because there's a broken link now, isn't there?
I wouldn't have made sure about nothing because I don't respect his wishes.
Raw. Okay.
Look, look, put it this way, yeah. I made a concerted effort to take my child back home.
Yeah.
So when we went to Ghana for a wedding, and I said we are going to Nigeria as well. So we had to do both, and our plan is to do it every 2 years. But I'm her dad, and I'm here, and I made that choice. Now, as much as I try to be a father figure to his children, at the end of the day, they're still his children. That was still his responsibility. So I'm never saying that I'm just relinquishing my rights. My responsibilities. It's, you know, he should have done it. But at the end of the day, he should have done it. If that's something that was important to him, then he should have done it. You understand?
I get what you're saying.
All right.
But then, how does that change now?
Nothing changed. What do you mean?
Well, the equation still is unfinished. The children haven't gone back to Nigeria. That's what's important. Whether or not the dad's not here anymore to be able to do it. So the important thing is that they go back to Nigeria. They're missing a direct link.
We cannot force those children to go back to, because we've been back to Nigeria before. We've offered to take them at a point to go to Nigeria with us.
Okay.
So it's not something that we can force them to do. When they're prepared and when they're ready, they will go to Nigeria.
Fair enough.
So I wanted to touch on that. So that's something I was going to mention anyway, probably towards the end. I was also going to say, so as we said, I made a mistake. My brother wasn't 20 when he died. I was 20. And so I'm coming up. My younger brother was 17, I think, or 16 or 17? 18?
No, I was 17. No, 17.
17. So, you know, he was a big, massive part of our lives. And who filled in the space when he was left? It was the actor's older brother, MGF. So MGF Joe filled in that slot as an older brother. I've been, as far as I'm concerned, I've been blessed to have 2 older brothers. That's how I see it. Because when my older brother
I got
died,
3.
which one? Oh, Uncle Paulie.
Yeah, Uncle Paulie, man. Uncle Paulie,
right.
my brother, man.
Okay.
I've got 4 because you as well. Because I forget you're my brother as well.
Yeah, this man just left me out. So anyway, Uncle Paulie's our brother.
Rubber guy out.
He's our brother-in-law. So not to be not to disparage him or to besmirch his name, but because he's still alive, I get to give him his blessings now, which we do because he gets bigged up all the time. So I'm just going to talk about the 2 that have passed for this episode. So MGF came in and he filled in the slot as an older brother, and the story I gave that time of when the only time I've ever been drunk, and I got kicked out of work because my boss told me, listen, you're drunk, leave, because I was just on the floor. It's MGF's house I went to instead of my own house to get slapped up for being drunk and hungover. And he's the one that I could stay on his floor. Me even being a hater of Liverpool. But when Liverpool won the European Cup in whatever year that was, I was in his house watching it, and I recorded him on God knows what phone it would have been back then. Him and his boys celebrating. It was a beautiful thing just to watch. So when he died, even though he didn't have things, I don't think that he said he wanted done, everybody knew. Similar to the actor, it needed to be a party. It couldn't be crying and misery guts and all that stuff. So he was a big Liverpool fan, like Mr. Wolf. So everybody went and got Liverpool tops. We all went to the funeral in Liverpool tops, and we had a party immediately after the funeral.
In the Liverpool tops.
Yeah. So we had a rave because MGF was known as the raver. He was the king of raving. We had a rave after his burial because that's how he would have wanted it. And I don't think he even needed to say anything. Everyone knew that Liverpool was connected to him and raving was connected to him. Those were his things, and gold. Those were his things, and so that's it. And it's funny when he died, and everybody was like, he used to message me all the time. He was always there for me. He's one of those people he's a bit mouthy, innit? He's a bit loud, could be definitely in this day he'd be problematic. Oh my days! I don't know how he would survive in this day and age.
Shut up,
He just wouldn't. That's the point.
In this day and age,
He just wouldn't.
It'd be mad. But everybody loved him because he had a heart of gold, and he showed that in his own way privately to everybody. He wasn't. So I don't know how he would survive in the social media age where you need to show everybody that, oh, look what I did, because he did everything on the sly. Nobody knew what he was doing until after he died, and everyone, well, he was always there for me. Call me, check up on me, everything. Whenever I knew something was wrong, MGF would know. So I just want to shout out MGF and my brother, No Talk.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, so happy birthday to
He
No
might
Talk.
actually be on his birthday. Really.
Salute.
You know?
No, I think
You said it so disdainly. Happy birthday. So hang on a
No,
minute.
it's on his birthday.
So
20th. It's on the Tuesday.
So
Yeah?
you're telling me that I've known you, man, for 20 years, isn't it? It's 19 years, isn't it?
So this
Yeah,
gets
almost.
yeah, because I met you just after.
Yeah. No, you met me. My brother was still alive when you met me. Yeah.
No,
Well, bruv, my brother died second year of college.
second year of college.
Oh, yeah, second year of college. Yeah.
And when did me and you start talking?
First year of college. We was in the same class on the first year.
Right, okay.
all right. So
You just never met him.
Yeah, that was it. All right, cool.
any words you want to say, that actor, before we move on to something less morbid?
Yeah.
You know what? Just to what's it called? Segue. It's still morbid, but one thing about MGF and No Talk, who's our brother's alias.
Yes.
Both of them was massive comic fans.
Oh yes.
So Stan Lee being with them right now is probably the biggest thing for them for a while.
Them mans are happy right
Yeah,
now.
because they were proper comic fans. Yeah. So Stan Lee, how do you think Stan Lee? How many people's lives do you think Stan Lee has impacted?
I was talking to my dad about this the other day, yeah? And realistically, it's about 4 generations.
Madness, isn't it?
Yeah, because my dad was into comics.
Yeah.
And then the generation after him, which was me, I guess, we were into comics. These lot that are under me are into comics. And I think there was a generation before my dad that was into comics as well, the early lot. So it's about 4 generations.
Well, the man's 95.
So Stanley died the week before last now, I think it would be, or let's say last week from when we released this. He was 95. He is obviously a big in the Marvel comic game and the Marvel films.
He's Marvel.
He is. Stanley is Marvel.
You say that, yeah, but
There's two of them though, really.
There was
Stanley and Jack Kirby.
Jack Kirby was so important, but nobody
really talks about it.
So,
It's like Apple. It's like the other guy that was in Apple.
Steve Wozniak.
The other guy.
So this is the thing because Jack Kirby was the illustrator and Stanley was the writer, and I think they had issues towards the end. Well, not even towards the end, for a long time now, because everybody just knows Stan Lee, and Jack Kirby is almost like kind of like kid to the cab. Maybe if you're just a casual comic person or somebody that doesn't pay no mind to it, you'll be like illustrations. Like, so what is the writer? But no, when it comes to comics, the illustrator is just as important.
But Jack Kirby
as the
went
writer.
and didn't he not go and do stuff for DC as well?
All of them did stuff.
some work for DC.
All of them,
crossed behind
all of them did that. Yeah, they weren't.
I think it's the name though. I think there's something about names that allows some names to just get fingered but some not. So like Stan Lee, for example, I don't know how the phonics of the name is or what.
That's
Oh,
but
not his real name though.
I know, but he's Jewish, isn't it? So the phonics of the name or what have you will just have you resonate with certain people over certain others. Do you know what I mean? It happens with footballers as well.
Because look at Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Who's the other ones that he has?
Reed
named?
Richards.
Reed Richards.
Yeah, they did that on purpose.
Yeah,
Bruce
exactly.
Banner.
Bruce
Yeah,
Banner. So he has this play with the words. So if he did create his own
Tony
Stanley,
Stark.
then I didn't know that Stanley was even his real name.
Yeah.
So the thing with him is, so he's created all these characters that we just mentioned. The Fantastic Four, Iron Man,
X-Men. Incredible Hulk, and the most famous and synonymous Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. So somebody sitting around here that was called Web Slinger that has changed his name actually has a tattoo of the Spider-Man
Is that
on his
the
person.
biggest Marvel character?
Yes,
The biggest, yeah.
by far.
Spider-Man. Okay.
Was he the
Superman,
was he
innit?
the first? He wasn't the first.
No,
was
He
he?
wasn't the first. No, Captain America was the first.
Yeah.
So Stanley was anyway. He was instrumental in creating all these characters. He's touched everyone's life in some way, shape, or form. If it wasn't the comics, now it was the cartoons. If it wasn't the cartoons, it's definitely now the films. He's fortunately he's already filmed his cameo in the Avengers Part 2 or Part 4, however you want to look at it. Infinity War Part 2. So he will be in Infinity Wars. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of special something either in what's the woman's name again?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel or
They'll put like a hologram or something in there, innit?
There'll be something important there where I'm sure there's going to be a bit of a tearjerker or something.
Stanley.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying that when they see the R.I.P. Stanley at the end of the film, they'll be crying.
It's going to be mad.
I'm not crying for a man that I don't know like that.
So
His real name is Stanley Martin Lieber.
so what's his real name then? He just chopped off the second.
Took out the Libra.
Stanley.
Okay. So we have two comic heads here. Basically, probably because of the brothers that left, because we weren't just saying it for joke. No Talk had a massive comic collection. That's Stavros and Wilder's brother, and MGF was
MGF
a
had a
massive comic fan. He was
It's not even MGF. It's all my brothers had comics, so it runs down from. So I had 4 brothers, and they all were into comics. All had their own brand that they followed. So my oldest brother would follow Fantastic Four. Next brother down would be Thor. MG would be Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, Silver Surfer.
He was the Hulk though. That was his biggest one.
The Hulk was his biggest one.
But I always thought, and maybe you know when you look too deep into things, I always had a feeling as to why he liked the Hulk more than everyone else.
yeah, I know where you're going with that. Yeah,
Can we say?
yeah.
Well, because he was a sufferer, and obviously he suffered from sickle cell basically, which meant he was a lot of the time he was in a state where he was weakened.
Yeah.
And he meant he had to go to hospital and whatever. And the Hulk is the strongest. So for me, it was always like he was Bruce Banner. And he was like the Hulk in his own way. It's like he saw the Hulk and he was like, that's who I am in my own way. But obviously I'm sick, so I can't. I have to be Bruce Banner. So always in my head, to myself,
Yeah, and I think his outgoing persona, the gold, the extravagance, the always going out, the never say die attitude.
That was
He-
the blonde hair.
Yeah, he was the one that was basically. I live my life. Well, now I'm married, it's a bit different, but before it was not why, it was why not.
Yeah.
And that was MGF. Why not? You have to give me a reason to not do it, not a reason to do it. And I think that was his Bruce Banner. I mean, sorry, that was his Hulk.
That was his whole. He lived his life to the fullest. He had no regrets. There was nothing he wouldn't want to do. He would want to do anything and everything he could possibly do.
Silica.
So Stanley, he touched our lives. He touched the lives of all of us. So rest in peace to him as well. And what I will say is that just to taint his life, he was going through the Me Too thing towards the end there. He had a couple of accusations towards the end of his life.
But the accusations he had, I don't know if I could. I'm not being bad, but one of the accusations was that he was at a parlor, a massage parlor, and he asked for the happy ending, and she said no. So he left it. But when you're in there, no problem. No problem. Yeah, sometimes in it.
And one of his assistants said something as well. But I think something that I want to touch on, because I've said this on multiple podcasts. He was with his wife. Yeah, so he was 95 when he died. He was with his wife for 69 years. 69 years. She died about a year and a half ago. And what do I say when you're with somebody for that long? When the partner goes,
you're going, man.
It just happens. When you're with somebody for that long, I don't know why, but all of a sudden it seems like your spirit or your soul. When we might talk about Joe Scott in a minute, but when you talk about all that spiritual stuff and that harmony and your souls linked up, that's when I see it. When you've been together 40, 50, 60 years, and then one of you goes and I've won. Because
I agree with you, but then it's also the same with work. When you've been working for so many years, as soon as you stop working, your body deteriorates.
Yeah, but I know that one. I think I know that one.
What is it?
It's like because you work, you have a purpose.
Yeah,
and I think
that's the thing I think with the partner. Because there was your purpose at one point, and then you got no purpose no more. So why am I here?
You see those people that retire 60, 65, 70, and they retire, and then within 12 months, they're gone.
I was gonna say, so what you be saying that long relationships are like when
jobs.
No, like when women will live in a house together and their periods sync up. So like your life energy syncs up with this other person, and then when they drop off, you have to drop off as well.
That's a good analogy.
I just think they become your purpose. Without them, there's no reason for you to live,
unless you want to bogle once they've gone.
And people tell you that they're when that thing that the people say is heartbreak. I believe it, man.
I've heard that recently. Somebody who I know, they lost their father, and then 3 months later they lost their mother. Same sort of thing. They'd been together for a long time.
It's mad. Oh, but even the video I just played, the woman lost both of her parents within 3 months. Yeah, so one of them died, the other one died straight after.
I was thinking about
it's mad.
That on the way here. I was listening to Joe Budden. They were talking about the Kim Porter, the R.I.P. Kim Porter. He was Puffy's ex. I don't even like to call her that. That's the only thing she was, but she was Puffy's ex.
She was a model.
And yeah, she was a model as well. She died. And I just thought to myself,
she was only 47?
47,
yeah.
What was it of? Was it like a
pneumonia?
I think pneumonia.
Oh, okay, go on.
I was just like, when my parents died, I don't know what I do, man. Don't know what I do.
Well, the thing is, when you say something like that, we kind of, our parents are hopeful that we bury them in it. They don't want to bury us, But even in saying that, the idea of it is a horrible feeling. But you will be fulfilling the wish of your parent, innit?
Today, my parents went to go and went to one of my family's house to go and bless the house because they got a new house, and my parents did the blessing because their parents are not here, and it just part of me was sad, man.
Yeah,
I was happy that obviously my parents could fill in that void, but it's like it's sad that your and it just makes me think like what happens when your parents are just not there? How do you function?
It's mad because I went to the house earlier this week. I said I want to, because they bought a house that's basically an empty shower and they're gonna fix it up. I said I want to see it before you fix it up. So I've gone there, took my daughter, and we're walking around. He's showing me all the rooms and these are the plans. And then we stood outside and he was looking up and down, and he said, "Yeah, my dad would be happy." And he's not an emotional type of person at all. And the way he just looked there, he was just like, "Yeah, my dad would be happy." He was proud of himself, and I think he just wished his dad was there to see that, to share that joy. And I said, my dad will be here to fill in that gap for you for what that's worth. He'll be here to do what he can do.
Did you cry?
Me? No, I cried earlier on.
Today
I cried actually.
Today, boy, when my dad saw the house, you gave him a big hug.
He hugged him.
He was proud of it. He said, "I'm proud of you." You gave him a massive hug, man. He was properly. His brother was there. He gave everyone a hug. He gave me a hug as well, just because I was there as well, just for affiliation.
You know what? People that listen to this podcast will think our dad is nice.
Yeah, it's true. My mom said that all the time. My mom said that all the time. People think our father is nice. He's not nice.
She gets vexed when she thinks people are like, my dad is nice. All of these people think he's nice.
You don't know him.
She gets vexed,
That's like my dad did. Like my dad did.
People think he's nice, man. He's not nice. He's nice.
He's nice.
He's very nice, but it's just when he's ready, he's so moldy. But yeah, man, he was very, he was very happy about it, and so it was good, man. I know we got topics, but I want to touch on something else that you just spoke on. So last week was my birthday. So this week we went for there's a link up because, be honest, we just wanted to go to Onidodo to link up anyway.
To the new menu.
We tried to decide that we was doing it for our birthday, but we just wanted to check out the new menu from Onidodo.
Yeah, shout out Onidodo.
Yeah, what's it? Turn Park Lane.
Yes.
Big them up. Go and taste their food. Their food is great. And Stabboy is 2-year-old with him.
Yep.
To the Mandem event.
Yep.
Like my mom was like, "Who came with you the other day?" Because my dad was like, he saw the video that he put in, and it was like.
Because she was eating
Amala. He goes, "Where did you find Amala?" He's like, "We get that. Where did you find it?" So we went to a restaurant.
Your mother did not cook it. Where did you find it?
So then it was then my mom goes, "So she was the only girl with the boys." I was like, "Yeah." And I was like to myself, I want to ask you, why do you bring your daughter to the Mandem events? Because it's not the first one.
I take my daughter everywhere with me. She's my Cody. You know when women say their children are their handbags?
Yeah.
My wife is boring, man, so I take my daughter instead. So she goes everywhere. She's been everywhere with me. Museums, park, everywhere I go, I'll take her with me.
What do you think she's going to get from the... Go on, sorry.
Do you want to know the killer? Obviously, I did the video call so that my daughter can see your daughter, innit? When I got home. Why didn't you take me? Why did I wanted to go with you? Why didn't you take me, Daddy? Why didn't you take me?
First off, you should have asked her why you still awake.
Exactly. Why did you take me? So it's like, why didn't you take me, Daddy? I wanted to be there. You know that I wanted to be there. I said, I didn't know that you wanted to be there.
Man, I'm scared of the youth.
I'm scared of the youth, bruv. I'm scared of the youth. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there, yes.
So do you have an issue with the child being there?
No, I'm asking, what do you think she gains and learns from being with the Mandem?
I'll actually tell you something. I always say that my parents were wicked. I think there's two things that I would say that my parents weren't the best at. One of them is financial literacy, which I'm assuming all of us is going to fill in the gap of that our parents didn't do necessarily. I don't know. Let me not talk for everyone's
Didn't
parents.
they? I think my dad told us very well that
He
we
said
should save money.
Save.
And we just didn't do it.
I just don't think that. I understand. And if we did that, yes, things would be better. But just telling your children to save is
enough.
There's more than that, yeah. And the second thing was that because my dad didn't like to travel too much, he just didn't take us nowhere. So and because he didn't let us go out either, so I just never went to go anywhere. So I was always at home. So what I'm doing with my daughter is I just want her to see everything, experience everything. I was talking to some of my other nephews and nieces, obviously much older, and I was talking about this part of London, and they ain't been to that part of London. And I was like, yeah, we've been to there. And I was like, no, I just don't want that for my child. I want her to know London. I'm going to take her to all the different places. It's going to be Bristol, Liverpool, Manchester. We're going to visit all these places, castles, museums, galleries. She's been to so many museums, so many galleries. She's been to so many countries. So she's been to 8 countries now. She's 2.
You're going to remember, though.
Yeah, but I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep going. And I understand it'd be rubbish if I just do it until she's 3 years old and then I stop.
Yeah, momentum.
But the plan is that there's just different things I want from her. What I want is for her to be able to experience everything. When she gets to a certain age, she would have been there and done it. When she leaves the house, she's not going to be, I don't know how to navigate going to a restaurant. I don't know how to navigate going to another country. I don't know how to navigate certain spaces, whether it's the opera or the theatre or museum, because it's not for us. I want her to know everything is for you. You can do anything and you can go anywhere. So that's just something that I want to impart on her. That's why I take it.
It's good. It's good, yeah. But you just
don't say but, man.
Nah, you're giving her future partner the hardest job now.
Good, because then he has to step up to the plate as well.
It's like I have a friend who just his daughter, what he's done with his daughter and stuff, he just put the levels up so high, private jets and all them kind of fuckery there. You know what?
That's the way it should be. It should be that look, no man should come and be able to impress you with. In fact, let me tell you a quick story. So we were talking about going to Croydon and how long it takes to get to Croydon.
Yeah.
And from Hackney, I'm now saying maybe 35 minutes. I think I was a bit too fast, so I'm saying maybe 45 minutes. And I said the reason I know this is because I used to travel to Croydon to link a chick. Now this chick was called a name, and it was the name of a restaurant that we went to one time. And the reason that we call it the name of the restaurant is because she was so impressed to go to that restaurant. Yeah. Because that was a big deal for her. Yeah. Now, I wasn't taking her there. We had gone on a date somewhere and I'd booked a restaurant somewhere else. But we passed this restaurant that I knew nothing about. And she said, can we go there? And I said, okay, then cool. So I've gone in. The man said, I ain't booked. Can I have a seat? He said, let me see what I can do for you. This is the maitre d'. And then eventually he comes back. He said, yeah, if you wait 20 minutes, then I can get you a seat. I said, is that cool with you to the guy? She's like, yeah. She's proper excited, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, so she's fully excited. Like, I can't believe it. This is before all social media and all that stuff. If this was during camera phone times, and all, she would have taken pictures and posted it, I'm sure. It would have been all over Instagram. Now, the reason we call her this name is because that was a big deal for her.
Yeah.
That was something that now she's getting wet just because I took her to this restaurant, which was no big deal. I don't ever want that to be my daughter. Never in life. Because
shit.
No. Never in life can a man just take you to, because it's not even an expensive restaurant. It's like, I don't want to say the name because then the person that, if they ever do listen to this, then they know it's them. Even though clearly they'll know it's them because the story is quite whatever.
Bro, name the restaurant.
No need to name the restaurant. Just keep going.
But my point is,
Just saying, man. Flipping heck.
does it make any difference?
Nando's, bro.
Let's carry on with the story.
So, anyways, I don't want that for my daughter. It should be that somebody has to step well up to the plate to impress her. Not that just anything can, what's this food bay? No food bay business. A food bay can impress you that you're giving over your card just because you take you somewhere. Nah.
Goddamn fault.
Big batty females.
What
I
did they
just
say?
want your bank details.
The daughter, they look up to their dad, innit? They marry someone that looks like their dad, that acts like their dad, that treats them like their
Hope she
dad.
don't marry someone that looks like you,
Yeah,
boy.
whatever. You know what I mean?
You don't look like my father to me.
So, you need to be Superman in her life.
Superman.
Well, we've said this. We said this for years that your father's Superman. You know, that's my thing, innit? I know I get backlash sometimes because people like to tell me that I'm wrong for saying it, but your father's the most important. Well, as for a girl, your father's the most important person in your life.
Me and my daughter are rolling deep today. Went shopping. She shops like me. Look at it one time, turn it around, throw it in the basket, and keep going. That's just how she moves, boy. I went.
That's my.
Yeah,
we bought the whole shop.
When I picked up the thing that she threw in there, and I said to her, "Yo, are you sure this is the right size?" She's like, "Yeah." Just like, you know what I mean, like dismiss me. Put it in there. Come on, let's go. We're going. I was like, "Rah, okay." Walking around the shop, dashing things in the trolley, spending big money.
All right. Does anyone want to talk about this Michelle Williams and Chad biracial relationship thing?
I don't know.
You know what? For me, yeah. You see, when someone gets into an interracial relationship,
Yes.
we should leave them alone. I don't care about whether they find out that their partner's racist. I could have said, "Told you so." But when you're starting to complain about those things, I don't care.
But he didn't say anything racist, though.
He said no. He didn't say anything racist. What he said was potentially massively insensitive.
What, because he told her, "Are you on your meds?"
Yeah, but he told her, "Are you on your meds?" when she was mentioning something about race.
No, she said, "Well, I don't care about the race bit. The bit that thing is because are you on your meds, isn't it?" She said to him, "Oh, something about."
I can just play it.
I don't want to play this foolishness, man. But if you
It's
want to play,
always you that doesn't want to do nothing.
play the thing if you have to.
I don't have to.
But you want to.
Communication this week has been good until last night. We had a disagreement. I said something to him on the lines of, well, Chad, because you are not black, you would not understand why I communicate the way I do. Maybe because you didn't grow up around a lot of black people. And so that was very, very offensive to Chad.
That was shade, though, for real.
He talked about a moment of how I said it's because I'm black and you're white and you don't know how black people talk. So he didn't like that.
This is going to be an important thing for us to talk about the issue of race.
Yeah.
Right? And figuring out what's race and what's individual.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
Okay. So, Chad, tell me what your honest thoughts are.
To me, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, green, yellow. It doesn't matter. If you know that the other person was like, I didn't like the way you said that, then seek to find some understanding as to why that person didn't like what you said. And let's keep that the issue, not pull in all these other things, because then it feels like you're just trying to cut, and then it feels like you're just trying to push further away.
But, and this is not to justify, but yesterday when we had the disagreement, he says, did you take your meds today? Now that.
But wait.
I think it was shade for shade.
We have to take into account Michelle Williams went through some sort of mental breakdown. She went to a mental something or another for her, like voluntarily. Not that she broke down and they strapped her up. But she said
Social media did that to her.
she needs to do stuff with her mental health. So she went somewhere to whatever, and now she's taking meds to deal with that. So I don't know if it's fiance or husband.
Fiance.
So when they got into a disagreement about race, he asked her, did you take your meds? And that's one of the things, and other things that people might mention is when he said, I don't care if you're black, brown, green. Some people don't like don't like it when people say they don't see color, or it doesn't matter what color you are. X, Y. I see an issue with that. He said that you should be respectful regardless of your color, basically. Yeah. So I don't. But some people don't even like it. Like the minute some people say I don't see color, or it doesn't matter what color you are, they don't even hear the rest of the sentence.
For me, this whole situation is she said something that she knew would trigger him. He said something that he knew would trigger her. I mean, that was it.
Would it really? Because if I was going to have a white person and something came up and they said something that they just don't get because they're not black, and I said, you wouldn't understand because you're not black, let me explain to you, and then they got offended by that, I'll be like, why are you offended?
Because
you don't get it.
Because as far as he's concerned, yeah, he may be heard this bare times. She might do this often. He might see it as her way of getting away with saying certain things to him that he don't trust.
Yeah, but
so he said that he actually said there, you know I don't like this thing, but you said it regardless, and then tried to basically say because I'm white, I don't understand it. So as far as from what I'm hearing from that, she said something that he himself thought she knows is going to upset me, and she said it anyway, and then tried to justify it by saying, because you're not black, you don't understand. So he told her about her meds. So I think it was just being trigger for trigger. I think he knew that triggers her. She probably knew that triggered him. So she said that, and he said that.
Are people going around like going out of the way to trigger their partner?
People do petty things to their partners, man. I think that he said something to annoy her, she said something to annoy him. It's simple and plain. People argue like that all the time.
Wolf?
I don't care, to be honest. Fuck them.
God damn. Anybody else?
All that interracial business, man.
It made it sound like a cult.
Yeah, but it's like I don't. I'm a bit like what Simple said. If you go into that situation, know that something like this could potentially happen.
Correct. And when it does,
don't come crying to the crying wolf. Easy, Mr. Wolf.
You know, like that. Oh.
Yeah. Don't cry, wolf.
Okay.
The actor don't get no love.
I don't really care.
I kind of
You can see by his face.
I kind of got the impression that this side of the table is not interested in talking about this topic.
I'm interested to know is whether or not Michelle Williams is actually having these mental breakdowns because of the way that she was treated.
By whom?
By the social media and everyone else. He used to call her the third wheel constantly.
Yeah, but it was
over again.
All social media done was observe what Destiny Child did to Michelle. Because if you look at the stuff, you will see that she was getting shaded on stage.
I don't think so. I think her and Kelly was not that much apart.
Have you seen the videos?
Yeah,
there was a hierarchy, and she was third
because she came at the end.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't think
not just that, because she was
she came in at the end of the end.
No,
exactly. Because
not only was she the last one, she was Don't Come For Me. She was the worst looking, and she was the worst singer.
She does have a big forehead.
I'm not saying she's bad looking. I'm just saying
social media dismantled her.
Kelly is, and Beyonce in it. So
they dismantled her bit by bit. Every week they abused her about what she is. She's this. She's rubbish. She's this, that, other. And
so you want to blame social? You want to blame?
I blame them. And then they're like now the ones that want to run and be caping for her when the man tells her that she's on her meds. When you put her in the meds in the first place. I'm allowed to say
it, but your husband can't say it. Your fiance
put her in the meds in the first place.
Well, you just want to blame them.
I'm blaming them.
I'm sure you were one of them that would have said something about her.
What about Michelle?
If I go Facebook,
probably not, you know.
2008, I'm sure you would have said.
I don't think I was cussing Michelle like that, you know. I don't think I was, you know.
Listen, somebody out there, do the social media. One of you social media whores that can find anything.
Whore.
Find big Wahala talking about Michelle Williams and saying son. I'm sure you said son. Yes,
okay.
I'm sending them on your cloud.
Every now and then you have real Caribbean moments, you know. that one was good. He pronounced it well.
What do you reckon about the FA's plan to reduce the international players on the squad if Brexit goes when Brexit goes through?
They're fools.
So they want to reduce the limit of international players to 11. I think it is.
That you can have in your Premiership team.
Yeah, out of 22.
They're fools.
Squad. So what do you reckon about this, Mr. Wolf? Along with Brexit comes the exit of international players.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Do you think it would diminish the Premier League if we have less international players?
I think the initial impact would be that the Premier League becomes less of an entertainment spectacle. I don't think that it will be as good as it is now, but I think over time that it will raise in quality, and they'll be forced to bring through young players who are probably not getting as much opportunities because of the foreign players. Because there's a lot of foreign players that are playing that may not be as good as the academy kid that is coming through, but because maybe they got a Brazilian name, they're getting the opportunity, and the young boy here isn't.
You know what the problem I think they have, and I think these two boys, Sancho and Reece Nelson, are showing. They don't send these youths out to other leagues at all. They send them back down to the first division and not to other leagues. Whereas these other youths from other countries are getting sent to the Premiership. So you have 17-year-old Brazilian boys playing in the Premiership, but then not have 17-year-old English boys playing in La Liga or playing in the Bundesliga or playing in any of these other big Premier top divisions. They won't be there. They're not even playing in the French league.
I think it's down to the individual. They've had two players in the past couple of years, black English players that have gone abroad. Well, three really, if you include Solanke for Liverpool, another Nigerian boy. Then you've got Ademola Lookman, who went to Germany, and then Sancho, who went to Germany as well. So there are players.
And Reece Nelson.
Yeah, there are players that have gone out and tried their thing, but
it's very little. It's not as much as
I think it's the player's choice.
Yeah, it's down.
It's the British culture. Is they tell you, do you want to? We're gonna loan you out. Where would you prefer to go? Somewhere to the lower leagues, or we can try and source you out to another country? And I think they're like, now what my mum's cooking.
I think it's the money.
Send me to Bournemouth or something.
It's probably the money because they get less money probably in these other places than they would if they drop down.
Well, whatever it is, I think they choose.
If they're going on loan, even then, like now when they were talking about Ramsey about going to Bayern Munich, like even the top English boys, they don't go abroad. I do not get it
because they don't want to leave.
Well, they're stupid. So then
the money.
They don't want to learn another language.
It's the money. The money. There's more money in the Premier League than anywhere else.
It's comfort.
You say that,
money.
but talk to Gareth Bale.
Yeah, but Gareth Bale is like top.
He went to Real Madrid.
But that's what I'm saying to you. So,
but for me, if you're going, there's two clubs that anybody's going to. That's Real Madrid and Barcelona, regardless of what league you're in. If one of those two clubs call for you, then you go. Just like that, you drop everything, including your mum's cooking, and you're going.
Not everybody calls for them. I mean, you get me. So them teams, like Mr. Wolf said, if they call for you,
but in the lower in the Championship, that grosses more money than the German Bundesliga. So people see the money in the lower leagues in the Premier League, and they say, "No, I'm good here."
May I ask you a question, Mr. Wolf? Do you think that this limiting of the number of foreign players that are coming in, Farhan, will actually increase the number of? I think it will make the Prem black, like more black players will come through because these English white boys are not that good.
I think regardless of Brexit, it's going to happen anyway. If you look at the academy systems now, 5-10 years ago, Millwall will only have your Charlies and your Archies playing in their midfield and playing all over the place. Now, if you look at Millwall's academy team from under like 13s upwards, under 12s, it's just pure black boys. Same as the Crystal Palace team, same Fulham, not so much, but a lot of these academy teams now, because the demand is so high from the academy directors, they just need to get the best boys in, regardless of what colour they are.
Are you saying the best are black?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have to remember, we don't have as many avenues that we believe are open to us as some of these other boys that leave school.
I'm glad you said believe are open to us.
Leave school and just become builders and make money. We don't do that. We think, boy, we need to make money. We need to get full.
I think the Premier League potentially could be like the NFL and the NBA in 10 to 15 years' time.
Whoa.
In terms of colour, you're talking about the makeup of it.
But will Britain allow it to continue like that?
Because money is more important to them, I don't think that they will care. If you look at what Southgate is doing, he don't care. He just wants the best boys in, and the best boys just happen to be black.
Mixed race. Nothing is English.
Lewis Hamilton.
Love Island contestants, boy.
Love Island contestants.
It's true. It's true. And we spoke about this during the World Cup and how we kind of associate ourselves with the English team, or how the younger generation associate themselves with them, because there's quite a few black boys in there now.
It's true.
And I can understand that, but personally, I just can't cheer for it.
Can you imagine if Danny Welbeck just stopped calling himself Danny Welbeck. I said, I want to be called as Niemensa from now on, which is actually his name.
Niemensa, you know.
Said, my name is Niemensa. I want to be named Niemensa from now on. I would like to no longer be named as Danny Welbeck.
He would never do that.
Why not?
No, he's too coon for that, man.
God damn, 47.
Man's injured as well, you know.
Why is he a coon?
Yeah, I'm just throwing shade on him, innit? But I don't like the fact that he chose England. That's just me. He could have been a big star for Ghana, you know, a proper big star, and he could have elevated them and helped them out. But
did he ever play for Ghana though?
No,
exactly.
No.
What do you mean exactly? He could
I
have
don't know
chose
what
Ghana.
that means, but yeah,
has he ever been to Ghana?
I don't know.
Edison.
Do you think he just made a financial decision?
Baka.
I think he made a footballing decision.
Mahuye.
I don't know, but
I'm matching an Abarante.
I think that if you look at the Jamaican team, for example, the Jamaican team could potentially have and they could have an excellent squad of players that make the World Cup all the time.
Yeah,
based on the players that are in the Premiership that have their heritage in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And then you've got this player. What's this guy's name?
Raheem Sterling.
No. You got him, and then you got the guy
Carl Walker.
No, Bayer Leverkusen.
Oh yeah,
Leon
Bailey, is it?
Leon Bailey. He's the next thing that looks like he's going to do something. And I think when he does choose to play for Ghana, for Jamaica, which I hope he does, because he does have the potential to go for Belgium and for Germany as well. But when he does go, then everybody else, in my opinion, is going to look at him and think, well, the team is okay now. I'm going. And I think that could have happened with Danny Welbeck, an English-born Ghanaian player going to play for Ghana, and then maybe one or two would have followed suit. But
a lot of Nigerians play for Nigeria.
True.
That
The Wolbies and them man there.
Yeah, but they started off playing for England though. Iwobi played for England. So did what's his name? The one from Chelsea. What's his face?
Victor Moses. But both of them were born in Nigeria. So
and when they chose to play for England for a while, and then they decided to choose to play Nigeria. So it's not like they don't go back and forth. They flip flop quite often. But
look at my man who plays for Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire.
Your guy from the Crystal Palace. What's his face? Zaha. Yeah, Zaha played for England for ages. I'm surprised he's even allowed to play for Ivory Coast.
Is Zaha from Ivory Coast?
Yeah.
But he played for England for the longest time.
He played. You can play a friendly game so long as it's not competitive, and then you can still change.
Okay.
But he didn't play for. He plays for Ivory Coast because he couldn't get into the England squad.
But he would get in
now. But he wouldn't have got in then.
I thought he was for Zambia for some strange reason.
Zambia.
His eyes always wide though. It was just like he's looking for me.
All right.
Anyway,
a couple of things there.
Who sent that question in?
The football one. That was me.
Interesting. I don't really like talking about football on the podcast.
Why? Why is that?
Because I will. If someone asks me the question, I'll answer it. But
you love talking about football, so why would you want to talk about it on the podcast?
Because I think most of our listeners are women and they don't care about football.
So you're being sexist?
No, I think most of them are women, and I think the women that listen, they don't care about football.
No, there's a couple that care about football, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, one of our long-term listeners.
Most of them. I didn't say all of them.
All right, cool.
We're just guessing. Hopefully you enjoyed that segment about football. And I got the numbers wrong. It's 25 people in the squad, and 12 would be the maximum number of foreign players.
It's more than half, it's all right.
It's less than half.
That's what I said.
Every week somebody has to say something wrong. I'm not looking in this one's direction, so don't let me answer. I'm looking at you three guys. Does anyone have an issue or want to talk about this Jamelia thing where she spoke on the person that we spoke on last week that was posing as black or getting the grants for black theatre even though he was white, and she likened it to trans sex?
I won't answer the question, but I will say that Jamelia is fine. Continue.
Oh, I don't mind. I can get into it. I can quite
Doesn't really bother me.
No, but it needs to bother you because people need to talk about it. It's not that you're sitting there, you say don't bother you, and you wait for everyone else to talk.
Doesn't bother me. If you want me to mention or say something, I'll say something.
Well, you're on the podcast, bruv. Yeah, I want you to talk.
All right, fine. Then talk about the damn thing.
All right, let me play the thing then.
So I don't get a say?
No.
No, he purposely said I'm not looking in your direction.
You never want to say nothing, man, so you get to the point. Look, come on, man.
We're supposed to be a tolerant society and accepting of people and how.
Why is it better videos this week,
for
man?
instance, if someone wants to change their sex or their gender. They're allowed to do that, and we have to accept that. Why can't we accept someone changing their race?
Well,
like, you know,
You need to change your accent. That's what you need to
you
do.
can't. Can the same not be said for gender?
No, I think it's completely different.
exactly the
I mean,
same
you can change your sex, but you can't change your race. Your ethnic background is something you are born with.
This man, as we said, you know, it's claimed that he's white and his parents are white and his grandparents are white and blah, blah, blah. But he clearly looks of mixed heritage. He has had the journey of a person of colour. He's suffered racial abuse. He was raised in the 60s. He's, he found it hard to get roles as an actor.
I thought you'd say the opposite.
I know, you probably do.
About this.
That's why I'm proper loving that, you know.
Because at the end of the day, he's still, the funding that he secured was intended to help ethnic minorities develop their stage careers.
All right. Okay.
And Mr. Wolf, you like this woman?
Yeah, she's fine from day one.
She's fine.
You just prefer she don't open her mouth that much, though.
I don't care about accent.
No, not the accent. It's what comes out of her
So
mouth.
you think she's actually trying to stupid?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
You know what? I agree with her.
I agree with
So
her.
if you can change your gender, you must be able to change your race.
No. Here's the thing, right? Because I've heard a couple of people say some stuff about this, and I've listened to what they've said, and I'm like, So their argument is this: that gender is a construct, yeah, which means that you can change your gender. I don't necessarily have an argument against that. What I find interesting, though, is that when you want to change your gender, which is the construct, you also try to align your sex with that as well. At that point, you are now trying to give the image of the fact that you are now a different sex. So now sex and gender is different. Sex is biological, male, female. We're a binary species.
Most of us.
Yeah?
99.999%.
Yeah. So sex is about whether you're male or female. And that is assigned at birth and you have no say over that. They're saying that gender is a construct and it's an idea about how you feel about who you are and what you are, and you can change that idea. I don't have a problem with that. The issue I have is how comes in order for you to change your gender, you have to then affect your sex? And then why is it that I am now expected to treat you as if your sex has changed as well as your gender? First thing. Second thing, I agree with the principle of what she's saying. The principle of what she's saying is that this is, I'm going to say it's a delusion. Yeah? I'm saying these two people that are deluded. One believes that they are a race that they're not. One believes that they're a sex that they're not, even though they're changing their gender. Because they change the sex at the same time, I'm saying that they're having the same delusion. You feel differently to what you actually are. There's nothing wrong with that, but I see it as a delusion. So from her point of view, and why I agree with her argument, to me, I see two deluded people trying to live out their delusion. So why can't we have the same for people who want to change their race as we do for people that want to change their gender?
Same energy.
That's it. That's it for me.
I've never heard of anybody that changes their sex that want to change their race as well.
No, but the two doesn't have to happen in combination.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in tandem. One wants to change their sex. One wants to change their race. We're happy to accept the ones that change their sex. You're not happy to accept the ones that change their race.
No. What I was saying was in reference to what Simple Simon said, is if Bill changes to Belinda, and Belinda was a black woman, but Bill was a white man.
You're
not what you're saying at all.
Right. I'm talking about.
That's what I thought you meant.
Don't go like last week and try and play devil's advocate.
No, that's why I was asking, because that's what I thought he was saying.
No, I said two separate things. There's two completely separate things.
Well, you listen to Jamelia.
I'm going off to her example. So one person is changing their gender and they're transgender. One person is changing their race. We call them transracial if you want. What they're saying is this guy can't be transracial. He can't change his race. And my argument is, in principle, for me, the two things are the same. Because forget whether it's race or not, they are both participating in the same level of delusion. They believe that there's something that they're not.
If one person wakes up or goes through their life and they feel in their head, and even if they did like a lie detector test or whatever, and you ask them, do you feel like you're a black person? And they're clearly white. And they said, yes, I've always felt like I'm black. Everything about me has felt like I was a black person. My whole life I felt black. I felt like I've gone through a black experience and yada, yada, yada. You call them bullshit and you say it's bullshit. But if they went through the blood test and they said it was yes, you'll say there was either something wrong with them or they're just chatting a complete other load of shit, yeah? But yet somebody that's born a man or a woman says the same thing. I've lived my life, and every way through my life, I felt like I was a man or I felt like I was a woman, which is not the sex that I was assigned or what I was born with. And I've always felt that way. And now I would like to be told that I am the other thing. What you'll be told then is that you should accept it, and there's nothing wrong with that person. So I kind of get it. Like, why is one bad and the other one's not so bad? I know that it's taking the piss, that he's taking the funding. I'm not gonna lie, that's still taking the piss.
Yeah, I don't want to get into this all that stuff.
But if you're saying that we have to accept one, you should be saying that we should accept all.
I was listening to Say Your Mind podcast by Kelechi Okafor, shout her out, and she was arguing the exact opposite of what at least the three of us are saying. So that's well, I'm just saying, Stavros is saying, because I agree with Simple Simon.
As do I.
So you're the last one then on the table, the actor. Do you agree with the rest of us, or do you have different views on this?
I don't disagree, and I don't necessarily agree. I'm just asking questions in relation to the topic.
Okay, so the topic is there's transsexual, there's transgender
and trans race.
Well, now people are bringing into the equation trans race, and people that some people are saying you cannot equate the two. Transgender is a real actual thing, and transracial is just something people making up for whatever they're making up. And some other people on the other side are saying, well, I'll put them in the same bracket. Just like Simple Simon said. Whether I agree with it or I don't agree with it, I actually put them both in the same bracket. They're both the same, side of the coin. So what do you feel?
I'm not sure what my feelings are about this. I think it's gonna become something. This might blow all out of proportion at some point, because I'm waiting for the day someone says I'm trans species.
It's happened already.
Done already.
So then I'm trans-terrestrial. I'm not from this planet. I'm an alien. What's the lines? What's going on?
And this is the point.
There shouldn't be any lines.
This is the point. Did you hear what I said? It's delusions. Yeah. And we are accepting people's delusions. Yeah. Now, I haven't got a problem with someone being deluded. I don't. What I have a problem with is when it becomes imposed on me, and now I have to partake in your delusion by using the correct pronouns and all this kind of business, because you feel how you feel about yourself. I now have to change my reality to match yours. That's the thing that I have a problem with. Mm-hmm. As individuals, I've got no issue with you. Me and you can sit down and we can spar, we can talk and all of it. The moment you try to mess with my integrity and try to mess with my mental.
He's doing a Mohammed celebration.
I'm telling you, try to mess with my mental and try and get me to be on the same wavelength, and then outside of that, make it look like I'm a pariah because I'm not on the same wavelength as you and you're delusional. Come on, get out of my face.
But that's what's going to start happening now. And as we've seen, it's happening. You now have to come into my world and be a part of my world, and accept everything I'm giving you.
But here's the problem, and this is why I've got an issue with this. I'm sitting on the outside looking on to this, and what they're saying is, no, these type of delusions are okay, but those ones we're not accepting.
Yeah, but they're not calling it a delusion.
They're not calling it a delusion. But they're saying like, these people that feel this way are okay, and those people that feel that way about that subject are not okay, even though the principle is exactly the same.
I don't understand why. So they think that the other one, meaning the transgender, I don't understand what they actually think it is. Do they think that it is actually a birthing defect, or is something that's fine, or is no problem with it?
We're going deep into that.
I would love. The reason I brought up Kelechi Okafor is because she, like I said, she had a structured argument basing the opposite view of what we're saying. And even though she's very articulate and she stated her point, I still didn't get it. It still didn't actually make cognitive sense to me. I would love to sit down with somebody, because I love to debate. I love to talk. I love to learn. I don't just want to spit out my opinion.
Exactly.
And just because you disagree with me, I ain't talking to you anymore. Yeah. I hate that. I want us to share our views and to learn from each other. So I would love to have this discussion with somebody that disagrees with me and feels, no, there is a clear difference between transgender and trans.
I would like
and so-called trans.
I would like somebody that's a transgender to tell me whether or not they feel like they've got they're upset with the opinion that somebody of trans race is the same as them. I want them to see why they think they're different from that. That's what I want to know. What does it upset you that people are equating that to the same thing? Well, so you're happy to say that I'm free to be who I want to be, And everybody should be free to say who they are. To say who they are and who they are should be what we respect, and we should acknowledge that, and we should do that. But it's not cool on that level. And I just want to know why.
There's a popular trans right person, and they were on Twitter, and I saw it. So unfortunately, I can't find it now because I can't remember their name, don't know who they are. But basically, everyone ran to this person. What do you think of this? Because it's like, oh, what do you think of what's going on now? And they said it's the meaning for them to even to talk about it. She said all the press has been contacting her because they want her views on it, and she's like, it's the meaning. Like, and I can't remember what she did the analogy with, but it was like, would you compare this and this? And would you expect like a horse to compare themselves to a human or something like that? Yeah, it wasn't that, but just something that was two completely different things. I say you wouldn't demean the human by saying they should compare themselves to a horse or something like that. So why should I demean myself by going to all these press people and comparing myself to a transracial? It's completely different, and I'm upset and annoyed that people are calling me to talk on the issue because it's something that I shouldn't even have to talk about.
So, but again, the opinion's already been put. When you start using words like demean, it means now that obviously this transracial issue is below you. You know what I'm saying to you?
No. Yeah.
So are we saying this thing should be made an issue or it should not be made an issue?
No, I'm saying I don't understand why they killed Jamelia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Jamelia got it after this.
Because Jamelia's always a scapegoat in things like this because they look at her and they think, well, she's not the brightest in the bunch, and her comments and what she thinks about things, it's gonna have its buzzwords, and it's gonna have its moments where it's like, right, we can use this to make her look foolish, because sometimes she does look like she's foolish.
Again, because I don't know if it's because she's a woman or it's because she's black, but I don't just want to throw them things out there because there are prominent, public speakers that go to universities and talk, and they've been banned now from going to, or universities are saying we don't want you in our university because you have the view that transgender is not a natural thing, or it's a mental.
What's her name? The feminist woman.
I don't know, but
Great.
So yeah, it's like we don't want you in our university to do your talk because you have these views.
Can I just segue from
Is the woman's name Monroe Bergdorf?
I don't know.
I think that's who you're talking about. Yeah.
No, that one.
Can I segue from what the actor was saying with regards to what he was talking about with Jamelia, and Michaela Coel was one of those ladies that people seem to look up to at the moment. She's kind of one of the biggest rising stars in the UK, and a lot of people are like, you go girl, black girl magic and all that. Michaela Coel must have come out with a tweet a couple of days ago still. I'm looking at it. It was a sticky one still. She said basically, she called Theresa May a queen and said, yeah, you know what? We need to stand by this queen. She's, trying our best to do her job and blah, blah, blah. She got battered.
Is it?
Battered.
So Michaela Coel's a Ghanaian black British actress. She's
writer
chewing
as
gum.
well.
Yeah, writer. She wrote Chewing Gum, and she's been in a film on Netflix recently with the dude in what's the
Misty.
Misty, which I watched this week. Thank you guys for suggesting it. It was wicked.
I need to go, man. You lot didn't even.
It's done, man.
You didn't even bring man. You didn't even bring man.
I wanted to go
a couple of weeks ago. Them man's mentioned it, and what did I say?
Yeah, but you didn't bring man
quickly. I went with my wife. It was me and my wife. We went on dates. We went on.
But you didn't bring man. It's all right.
We went on private time.
Have a triple date.
I'm upset that I didn't get to see that, man. It would have been good for us to have reviewed it as well.
I was gonna lie, I wanted to watch it, but then I saw the ticket price, and at the moment, I'm not allowed to spend that type of money.
How much is the ticket price?
It was, I think the ones that I could get were like £65 each.
I'd have done
We
it.
spent 55 each.
At the time
I couldn't
that
justify.
I'd have done it.
It was 20 quid.
Yeah, I couldn't justify.
And I went for free.
I would have done it.
I couldn't justify.
I knew it because when I went, I was like, that actor didn't pay for these damn tickets. I knew it. I was telling my wife, he didn't pay for these damn tickets.
I couldn't justify, man, because we're cutting back on all these things because of the wedding. I couldn't justify.
I'd have done it, man.
Oh my days! It started off and I was thinking, I could write this. And you know me in it because I'm very talented. And when I go to things and I can do it, as much as I'm not saying it's not good, but when people big things up way up, and I think, well, I could have done that. What's the big up? So 20 minutes, I could have done this. Half an hour, yeah, that's good. 40 minutes, yeah, okay, yeah. Second half, yeah, I would not afford that. Yeah, towards the end, yeah. And then by the end, it's like, yeah, bravo. Nah, that was wicked.
So going back to Michaela Coel.
So anyway, Michaela Coel, so
she must have said that. She must have called Theresa May a queen and said that she's trying her best. Basically, she was bigging up Theresa May, and the people were just like, "What are you talking? Don't ever." People are like, "This woman that you're bigging up is the same woman that was trying to send all the Jamaican mothers back home, blah, blah. Bruv, they slaughtered her on Twitter. Okay. And people was like, you see, the ones that you caped for and they're your women crush Wednesday or whatever.
Your role models.
Your role models, they can let you down the same way.
Everybody
just
can
like
let you down, man. That's why you don't put all your emphasis on somebody. But let me just defend her a little bit because... you know me and my politics. I start getting excited. Right. Outside of the fact that she's a liar, but I'm gonna squash that because all politicians are liars. Yeah? So I'm blanketing that one and just taking it out of the way. And outside of what she did as a Home Secretary, because she was a bastard, clearly. Yeah,
Gaza.
All right. So as Prime Minister,
two massive things, bro.
Yeah, but cut them out. But
I'm gonna cut them out. One of them definitely, like cancer, is getting cut out because the lie. All politicians lie. So you can't pick on one for lying. You get me? Even what's
part of the toolbox. Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So as a Prime Minister, yeah, she's done some foolish moves, but only foolish moves that for her own demise. What she's actually done for the people, I don't see nothing wrong with what she's done. I actually applaud her because she's hanging on with her nails. Weaker people, I wouldn't call her a queen, but people that are not as strong
David Cameron
as her would have flopped by now.
David Cameron.
And she got balls on her. Yeah, like unlike David, that it didn't go my way. Goodbye. I'm not gonna do it. She should never have basically asked to be in that position because when it comes to Brexit, you were never gonna please anybody. We've been discussing Brexit in the WhatsApp group recently, and I'm saying you had the extremists on either side. So you have people that extreme Brexiters and extreme one and Remainers. You cannot please people in that position because you go all the way to one side, you alienate the other. And if you try and do something in the middle, this is the life. This is what we discuss sometimes as podcasters. When you try and please everybody, you please nobody.
But what she should have done is do the best thing for the British people.
Which is what she's done.
No.
It's not the best thing for the British people.
Yes.
Staying in Brexit would be the best thing for the British people.
But the point is we actually have had a vote. So
what?
I actually agree with the fact that...
We also voted them in to make sure they do the best thing for the British people. So if we do the best thing for the British people is to not listen to us, then you shouldn't listen to us. And I'm not even joking. I am literally not joking on that.
Yeah, but that's what they call a dictatorship.
But if we, yes, sometimes you need that. If we go to do tomorrow now,
you listen to what you're saying.
Yes. I'm saying it.
We need a dictator.
Yes.
Let me give you it.
I know what I'm saying. Sometimes
no,
because if tomorrow now we all voted that we should go around and kill every cat on the street, are we all gonna go around and kill every cat on the street?
You do realize that Nigeria is a dictatorship, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, sometimes you need them. Sometimes Mugabe needs to be in there, mate. Because in the end, if the thing is the worst thing for the country and everyone else is stupid, you need to tell them, you people are stupid. That's an elitist attitude.
You know a dictatorship can't be a democracy as well, right?
I didn't ask for I said, sometimes you have to tell these people what you're doing is stupid. I don't know why. I would have come in and said, I don't know what that fool did by giving you a referendum, but I'm not that fool. We're taking the thing back and you have to feel it. You understand?
It's my game and we're going to play it my way.
You understand?
Take my ball, I'm going out.
I understand. And I'm walking off. I would say that was him.
The minute Brexit was voted for, if you're not going to have a second referendum, if you're not going to reverse it, which it seems like we're not going to do, the minute you get to that point, there is no good outcome. So you putting yourself in that position to be Prime Minister. I want to be Prime Minister now, please, and to have to deal with that. I don't see it. You put yourself in a whole heap of doo-doo, basically. It's a madness.
I'm not going to co-sign you defending her at all, bruv. Aside from the things that she done as a Home Secretary, mate, she's as what Stormzy said, she's a pagan, bruv. You get me? So I think that there is something to please the people. There's one extreme, which is a hard Brexit. Then there's another extreme all the way the other end, which is a soft Brexit. And she's gone for the soft Brexit.
No, you do realise that Brexit...
Soft Brexit is in the middle.
Sorry? You do
soft Brexit is in the middle.
No. So now, being in the European Union, if we go with this soft Brexit, we are now in a worse position.
Yes.
If we were still in the European Union.
Yes.
And you would have been the same way that we were hard Brexit.
So for me, it is the extreme on the other side. There's no in between.
I believe you don't understand it.
Of course I understand it.
Without trying to be rude,
bro.
I'm not misunderstanding.
You see
she's gone from one extreme, the hard Brexit, and then the other extreme.
You know what?
There is no other extreme.
You know, she was talking slyly. She was giving messages. You know, she said Brexit means Brexit. Nobody understood what that meant. Yeah. The point here is, as long as you're outside of, as long as you Brexit, hard, soft, or whatever is just marketing. As long as you Brexit, it's a fucked up deal. That's it. No, listen to what I'm saying to you.
Not the case,
no, wait,
bro.
Listen to what I'm saying to you. Wait, let me finish what I'm saying to you, Mr. Wolf. if you're part of the European community, you are taking advantage of 750 individual trade deals that are done with 80 countries or some shit like that. Yeah, of those 80 countries, 50 of them are inside the 30 of them are inside the EU, and the rest of them are outside the EU. This has been cultivated over a number of years. Yeah, it's taken a long time. If you Brexit, it means that you're exiting that agreement, which means you lose the whole 750 straight away. So whether you put a soft prefix or a hard prefix, it don't make no difference.
It makes a big difference.
Oh my God.
The prefix are just
and this is part of the reason why Boris and all of these other backbenchers and people that were by her side are just splurting.
They were never by her side.
Yeah, and then they were never by her side because of the soft Brexit.
No, they were never by her side.
Just a facade, bruv.
It was never by her side.
What I would say, I would agree with him in the sense
course
that
it's true.
if she was going to do what they wanted to do, then it would be by her side. So she didn't want Brexit. So she wasn't a Brexiter. She was a Remainer. So they didn't really want a Remainer in charge anyways. But she's a Remainer. She was in charge. Yada yada. But she's trying to do the job that she's put down to do. But like Simple Simon said correctly, the minute you decide to leave the European Union,
I understand that bit,
you are messed up. The only good thing is to stay in. It's like having the best woman in the world. Yeah, and then leaving her for scatty chick. Now the scatty chick can do all this and that, but the minute you've left the best woman in the world, that's it for you. It doesn't matter what this chick can do because she ain't the best woman in the world, and you had the best woman in the world, and you said I want to leave her because the other one.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Where's pretty?
No, we all voted that we should leave the other one. The whole family voted that I don't like the other one.
Yeah. And the person just had to follow through on that.
By rights, you see these referendums, we should do best of 3 for referendums.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely.
Come on now.
Chinchanwala and all that.
Yeah, best of 3 for referendums.
Right.
Is Chinchanwala a racist term? Chinchanwala.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, fair enough.
Listen, everything from your childhood is cancelled. You're not allowed to do it anymore. It's wrong. It's bad. And the youth will tell you about yourself.
Because that's why they call it paper, rock, scissors now.
Oh, because of the Chinchanwala.
No, it was always called Paper, Rock, Scissors. That was just the second name that it had as well.
Chinchanwala was the original name.
Oh, God.
When I'm hearing it now, when I'm saying it back now, I never thought of it being bad in any way, shape, or form. But it's actually Ching Chang Walla. What is the Walla bit?
Wahala.
Ching chang walla 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 ching chang bing bang bang ching chang.
We was racist.
I want to talk. Let's leave the Brexit thing alone. Just shout out to Stormzy for a headline in Glastonbury.
That's
so
a
well
big
done
thing,
to
man.
him.
That's a massive thing. And
that's
you know the
a
Brexiters
big
are going
deal.
to come for that as well.
When Jay-Z did it, big Jay-Z, and there are people like, I'm boycotting, we ain't going to go. The Gallagher brother was like, rap should not be heading Glastonbury. And for some reason, they've gone it and done it again. But he's a good performer when it comes to these, what do they call
festivals?
Them festivals. He's a very good festival performer. We wish him the best. He should rock out the crowd because he's well known. His songs are well known.
As soon as he says shut up, that place is going to go mad.
The audiences have changed in the last 10 to 15 years.
What, for Glastonbury?
I don't think they've changed that much, you know.
Nah, okay.
I think the tastes have changed. The music itself has changed.
Don't get me wrong. I know what he's saying. You know 1 or 2 black people that have gone to Glastonbury now, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I've heard 1 or 2 black people as well.
And the
out here sleeping in tents, not washing their backside.
I think Jay-Z was the reason why that started, you know.
You think so?
Yeah, that's when the blacks started to go.
I don't know, but they're out here.
Might have been before.
And they had a different tent.
Not washing, taking drugs.
A different tent.
They got different tents, innit? In Glastonbury, don't they? They have different like stage things.
Yeah, different stages.
Different stages.
So they used to always have a black stage before, anyway, where they had black artists, but it was never on the main stage.
Just people like Georgette that they went to them kind of things, innit? But people like us never went. But there's just more people like Georgette nowadays, innit? That's it.
Oh, you mean like the unicorns and that?
Yeah,
them ones.
Would any of you go to a festival?
Yes.
It depends.
At Glastonbury.
Yeah.
I've been to festivals. I don't know if I would go to a Glastonbury.
Why not?
If I can't bath and we in somewhere that's nice, I'm not going.
You book a hotel, innit?
Then that's not really going to Glastonbury.
I want to go Glastonbury, but I want to go all inclusive.
That is exactly what
I'm
I
going
want
for the music. I'm not going to rolling around in mud of my pig.
Because that's what they want to do. When they throw mud at you, what are you going to do? See, I'm just know I'm going to beat somebody
notice
up.
anyway.
What if you what on me? Are you
Listen, when I go to them types of concerts, I'm always looking like I'm going to beat somebody up. I remember when I went to the Jay-Z and Beyonce one and people were jumping around me and I was upset, like, why are you jumping? It's just blatantly having fun. But don't have fun near me.
Why are you having fun near me?
Yeah, but
have fun in your space.
I am the dark hole of sadness. You are not allowed to have fun around
like,
me.
Come trying to jump near me. Don't jump near me.
I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you
fire.
All right. So that's the end of that. Yeah, holler at me on Twitter about Brexit, man. I want to keep talking about it on Twitter.
Are we almost done?
We're done. That's the end of it. So church notes and
Can I go first?
Socials. Big Wahala.
At Big Wahala on Insta. At Big Wahala on Twitter.
Simple Simon.
At Simple Simon FB on Twitter. I don't do Instagrams. I have got nothing to plug this week. Damn shame. But be good to yourselves and be good to each other. And hopefully you'll catch us here again next week.
All right, relax.
Okay. Mr. Wolf.
Yeah, you can catch me on Instagram, aka Mr. Wolf on Insta, on Twitter, aka _Mr. Wolf. And I've got something to plug. It's by a friend of mine. He is a poet and a writer. It's called The Dark. And it's going to be at the Oval House.
Plug.
Also, it was at Tobacco Factories last week, but this week, from Wednesday the 21st of November to Saturday the 1st, his play will be at the Oval House. It is about his experience migrating here with his mother when he was 4. So he comes from Uganda, and he had a bit of a dark experience coming over to this country during the regime of Idi Amin, and apparently it's a bit of a deep story. So if you guys can make it down there, it's called The Dark. It will be taking place at the Oval House Wednesday the 21st of November to Saturday the 1st of December. Tickets are £9 to £15. So Google Oval House and The Dark.
Plug.
Cool. The actor.
What's good? DATACTO on Instagram and on Twitter. I just want to plug a event called Bass Culture, which is on Thursday the 22nd of November. It's from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. At the Westminster University, 35 Marylebone Road.
Plug.
Bass Culture's world premiere called Bass Culture, which explores bass culture, Jamaican sound system culture.
Is this a play, a film?
The British music scene. Let me finish.
Plug.
Connecting reggae roots through to jungle, garage, and grime. It's a documentary.
Plug. When's this? What day is this?
It's Thursday the 22nd.
I'm going to try to reach that.
And also, not to forget, Women of the Lens, 15th and 16th of December. Yours truly has a screening of his film, I Woke Up This Morning.
Plug.
Can you put that in the group, please?
I will.
Yeah, from last week you still ain't done it. And then you moan when you ain't got tickets.
I've got tickets.
For us?
No.
Never read the Quran or Islam.
Have you given your social? Yeah, you did, innit? All right.
Only sounds of rebels on the palm of my brothers.
I am at Stavros Bus. You can catch me at Stavros Bus everywhere. And Stavros says this week is something called The Money Diaries. You can find it at refinery29.com. But if you just search for Money Diaries, you'll find it. It's the first thing up there. And the Money Diaries is this thing for women to break, apparently, the last taboo facing women, money. Where what they'll do is they go on there anonymously a lot of the time, and they'll talk about what they do with their finances. So I'm a 22-year-old that lives on her own in the middle of London, and I only get paid 21 grand, but I still don't feel that I should be able to buy expensive coffee and my avocado toast, because that's my right as a Londoner kind of thing. And they put what's down there, they talk, they discuss their finances. Other people then get involved and say, these are the advice we can kind of give you. So it's a woman thing. So
so are you on there?
I'm not on there. I heard about it from one of the finance podcasts I listened to. I thought it was quite interesting. So I'm reading up on it. But it's just interesting. I think women or people in general, like we spoke about, financial literacy is important. This is the kind of thing where you can go and you can learn about other people's experiences. And they say basically women will now talk about, like we said, aligning bloody with vaginal bleeding and all this and that. I wish I had that recorded. And all sorts of whatnot. But people don't talk about their money. Women still don't talk about their money. They'll talk about, I did this with this man and that man, but when they're in their private,
circles,
yeah, but they don't talk about their money.
In my circle.
So they're saying this is a way to break down that taboo of talking about money with your peers, with other women, so that you can learn, because you learn by discussing things, innit? And because it's such a private thing, maybe that's one of the reasons why our parents didn't talk about money, because it's just private. You didn't talk about politics, you didn't talk about finance. You spoke about sport and beating your children. But anyways, that's the end of that. You can catch us at Eloquently Saying Nothing. That was completely wrong. You can catch us at ESN Podcasts on all the social medias. Use the hashtag ESN Pod to join in all the conversations. If you agree or disagree with us regarding the trans thing or supporting Theresa May, by all means, holler at us, use the hashtag ESN Pod. We'll send our questions out there now. We're going to try and put more questions out there, more polls on the social media. So keep abreast of that. Join us.
Abreast.
Yes. Any Homer Simpson. So follow us so that when we tweet these things out there, you can join in the conversation.
Plug.
Please rate and review us. We are on all your listening devices. Everywhere you want us, we're there.
Spotify.
I would just like to say that even though me and the actor and the Stavros got very, what you seem to have thought was heated last week, that was just a normal everyday conversation between the man there.
Yes. Well, they should know, because by the end of the conversation, like 2 minutes later, we were talking about our socials, isn't it? But I cut off the mic last week, so let me apologize, because some people was like, you shouldn't have cut off the mic, because I was worried about the sound quality. It wasn't even necessarily the fact you were shouting. It's because it wasn't you shouting. It's just you can't hear nothing. So it's rather just cut it off than.
I thought man pushed the table over and started fisting guys in the chest.
Because of that new thing that I used to edit the thing, it made it a lot easier and it sorted that bit out. So I was like, this is interesting. So anybody that needs some advice with editing, I got some next things on the list there. So I can
the Podfather.
Yeah. Podfather, hashtag Podfather. All right, so that's the end of that. Everyone's happy, everyone's cool, everyone's on their phone. Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much for listening to Eloquently Saying Nothing, and we are done.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you ain't saying nothing, say it well.
Slag for life.
I'm an African warrior. Only with my spear in my hand. African warrior.
You know what,
how we used to rave to that.
You know what? There's certain songs, there's certain things that when I know, like I need to have a playlist of Swifter production beats.
Swifter, I'm telling everyone this dude is a producer.
I need a playlist.
Go on YouTube, search for him. He's got beats up there as well, just empty beats. Because I should check on the gym.
Anytime I hear Swift production, I really know
Swifter production.
I really know it's on.